turn that, well, actually, he did turn it on, I just didn't put mute on. So we have been doing this for a while. We're discussing how many people we have. So for all of you online, we're going to kind of talk about this. And I know you're not going to be able to hear it, my students. So we're all going to mic it. I'm going to walk around so they can all hear. Do you like that one? So today, I want us to get to know each other. So we're going to play this game. I want you to write down on your piece of paper your name, how long you've been in the business, why you got in the business, one truth and one lie. And then you're going to introduce yourselves. You're going to tell us your truth and your lie, but you're not going to tell us which one is which, and we're going to have to vote on which one we think is the truth and which one we think is the lie.
What was our name?
Your name, how long you've been in the business, why you got in real estate, because you guys are all new agents, and one truth and one lie. I'll give you about 5 minutes. And everybody has a book, right? Okay, good. And while you do that, I'm going to get more coffee. Okay, I'm going to go first to give you an idea. My name, Julie Jones. I got my real estate license in 2001, which is about 18.6 years. I used to say about 2001, people go, people don't count. Just tell them how many years it is. Okay. 18.6. It was May 2001. We all know what happened September 11th. I had a closing right the next day on the 12th, and after that was a .com at sank. And then the market got better again. This was me as a new agent, guys. And I had to learn how to do HUD foreclosures. I had to learn how to do short sales, things like that. If we're going to stay in this business, we had to focus on who our client's going to be. And then all of a sudden, the lender industry went poof, and it stayed down. And they quit lending money for about, 6-7 months. And we're like, oh, wonderful. Who has cash? Cash buyers out there? And so then the market started getting better again and returned in 2011. And so that's kind of like my background. I gave you more than you needed in time of business. I have a truth and a lie. It's going to be, I'm related to Lady Godiva, and I was born and raised in Austin, Texas. How many people think I'm related to Lady Godiva? How many people think I was born in Austin, Texas? You have to vote. You have to vote. Okay, Lady Godiva. Austin, Texas. I'm related to Lady Godiva. When it snows in the Dallas area, my brother gets bored, so he starts researching our genealogy tree. And one day he texts me, we're related to Lady Godiva. I went, oh, cool. And he goes, and that was all a feeble. Look, Google it about her riding naked on the horse. That was all just a fairy tale. It was all made up. But I am related somehow to Lady Godiva and all those other people in England. My brother emails me, but it's more important to him than it is me. And I thought, ooh, that would be a good truth when I play this game.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas, because it's always hard for me to tell a lie. And the reason why is because we don't lie. So it's hard to think of a lie, because those who thought of it very easily, I don't want to know. So who wants to be next with their name and their information? Any volunteers?
I'll go.
Okay, hang on. You get the microphone. You're live.
She's like,
You're live from Georgetown, Texas.
microphone.
You don't have to put it so close. Okay. Oh,
You're not on film.
Okay, my name is Tiffany Miles. I've had my license maybe a month and a half. I got in this business. I've been in the mortgage business for 21 years, so I wanted to convert over to this because I've wanted to be in real estate for a while. So I did that. Okay, I like to sing karaoke, and oh wait, do I have to say truth or lie?
No, just say one.
Oh.
Don't tell us which one is which.
Oh, I like to sing karaoke, and I love to scuba dive.
Okay, Tiffany. She likes to sing karaoke and she likes to scuba dive. How many think she likes to sing karaoke? That's my vote. I vote in karaoke. How many people think she likes to scuba dive? You did not vote. I'm making them all vote. Okay, Tiffany, what is it?
Scuba dive.
You scuba diving?
Yeah.
Are you certified Patty?
Yes.
So am I.
Yes.
How often do you get to go?
My husband and I we try to go twice a year. We go to Hawaii or we'll go to Jamaica or somewhere like that. Yep.
How much fun.
Yeah. He's certified, like he trains.
He's the guy I want to have as my scuba buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody that actually really knows what they're doing.
Yeah, he's certified and he has been for years.
Yeah.
And he taught me, and so
Well-
it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I feel like I'm a little kid swimming around in a aquarium.
Yes.
The last time I went diving was in Costa Rica, and I was by myself, so I didn't have a buddy. So the dive master volunteered to be my buddy. What better buddy could you have than that?
Oh yeah. And see, that's kind of how I feel when
Yeah.
I'm with my husband, because I mean.
And if I don't, that's the only way I'll go diving is with somebody that has more experience than I do.
Yes.
'Cause I'm not very experienced. Well, thank you, Tiffany. Welcome to our class.
Thank you.
Who would like to be next? Thank you. Hang on. Okay, we are talking to
Jill Howery, and I've been in the business about 4 months, and we rehab houses and that, and I just wanted to be on the real estate end of the business.
Okay.
Truth and lie. See, I have 3 kids and 2 grandchildren, or I have design antennas for the stealth bomber.
You what?
design antennas for the stealth bomber.
Design a tennis?
Antennas for
Oh,
the stealth
antennas. I thought she said tennis
I
balls.
thought she did too. I was like,
Okay, Jill. She has 2 kids and 3
3 kids and 2 grandchildren.
3 kids and 2 grandchildren, or she designed an antenna for the stealth bomber. Is that right?
Yeah.
How many think she has 3 kids and 2 grandchildren? I think she has 3 kids and 2 grandchildren. How many think she designed an antenna for the stealth bomber? Oh, y'all must know her.
no.
Okay, which is it, Jill?
I designed antennas.
Ah!
I had 2 kids and 1 grandchild. Right, not one on the way.
She designed the antenna for the stealth bomber. Whoa, we have a celebrity in our class today. We're all celebrities, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Who wants to be next? Brian. Brian.
I'm okay.
What is your name? First name only.
Brian,
Okay. How long have you been in the business?
2 months.
And why did you get in the business? And don't say it's because my brother made me.
My brother made me. Mainly just to help people who've helped me along the way.
Good. And what's your truth in life? But don't tell us which is which.
I live in Austin, and I have 3 dogs.
Okay. Brian says he lives in Austin and he has 3 dogs. How many people think he lives in Austin? I'm not going to answer this because I know. How many people think he has 3 dogs? Brian, which one is it?
I live in Austin.
He lives in Austin. How many? Do you have any dogs?
I have 1.
He has 1 dog. I thought you need at least 1 fur baby. Okay, Rachel.
Sure, I'll go.
Okay, Rachel. Oh, this young lady's going to be next.
I'm Rachel Slodlanok. I got my license at the end of April, but I haven't really been pursuing it until about 2 months ago in July or so. I got into the business because I like homes, I like the architecture, I like the design of it, and I wanted to help people and to have my own schedule to plan what I do with my life. My truth and lie, I skipped the 8th grade and I've been to 15 states.
Okay. Rachel. She says she skipped 8th grade. And she said she's been to 15 states. How many people think she skipped 8th grade? I'm going to say yeah. Oh, everybody. How many then think she's been to 15 states? Which one is it, Rachel?
I skipped the 8th grade.
Oh, she skipped 8th grade. That was close. I thought it could be one or the other, but how many people do you know skipped 8th grade? Yeah. So everybody, welcome to the Buyers Bootcamp. I'm glad you're here. This class, when you are in my classes, I'm sorry. You're so.
No, carry on. Carry on.
I have people behind you that are helping me.
Oh.
She just thought she was going to slip through.
Okay, my name is Judy,
Hi, Judy.
and I have had my license for about 3 months.
Congratulations.
So I'm still trying to get all my ducks in a row. Let's see, I got into it because I went through a divorce and I need to supplement my income at this weird stage in my life. And
This just changes.
yeah, changes, different direction. And my truth and my lie, I'm adopting a dog or I'm adopting a grandbaby.
Okay, Judy is either going to, or her truths. We're going to see which one. Adopting a dog or adopting a grandbaby. How many think she's adopting a dog? How many people think she's adopting a grandbaby? It's split. So, Judy, which is the truth?
I am adopting a dog and I am expecting a blood grandbaby in February.
Ah, congratulations. The truth is she's adopting a dog, and her grandbaby is going to be born in February, right? Woohoo! Thank you all for being here. It's going to be a fun class. Enjoy it. If you're bored, I'm bored. If I'm bored, you're bored. So we're not going to get bored today. We're going to talk about what's in the book. I kind of get off on side notes when I think of something I think would be good for a new agent to know. I've been doing this business since 2011. I got my broker's license in 2005. I left Keller Williams for a couple of years and was an independent broker. And when the market changed, the mortgage market boomed, I was like, I want somebody to feed me the information I need. I'm tired of reading everything because I didn't know what was important. So I thought, I'm going to go back to a big brokerage. And I came back to Keller Williams. So I got the Boomerang Award that year. So our office is a very fun office. So we have fun in what you do. We work hard and we also play hard. Not too hard. We have to schedule that into our calendars. Days off. I do. So this business is a very good business to be in, but you have to work. You have to learn to lead generate. You have to say, okay, I have a buyer, now what do I do with this buyer? How do I get buyers? And that's what we're going to talk about. How many of you, you've all been in the business, active, 3 months or less? Is that about right? Fairly new? And I want to say congratulations, because real estate is a whole new word of language, it's a whole new way of thinking, because you're changing what you used to do into creating something new, which I think is wonderful, because this is what this business is all about, is going in and conquering and doing something new. This business is always changing. That's what I like about it. I used to be an accountant before I started doing this. You know, same thing, repetitive, sitting behind a desk. I don't like repetitiveness. And that's one reason why I also teach, because I like to teach you guys to help you be the best agents you can do. I like to have a variety of things to do. That's just how I am. My personality clicks that way. So congratulations. Change is not easy, but you have to think. If you think change is not easy, you have to change the way you think, and things around you change. I know it's a Bo law, but I've taken it 8 times, so I can say that. And because it's all about mindset in this business. If you tell yourself, I cannot do this, then you're not going to do it. You're unconscious. This is not going to work for you. You cannot do it. So you have to change the way you talk to yourself in your head as well as verbally. A great example is I used to say, I just love this crazy business. Delete, erase. I have to say that because I don't want it to come back to me. And I said it because it was always changing. It was always something different. No two transactions are ever the same. And I was wondering why I got all the crazy clients and all the crazy agents on the co-op side. I mean, everybody was crazy around me. And I'm like, why am I getting all these crazy people? And then Kristen, my coach, she said, Julie, listen what you just said. You said you love this business, crazy business. I went, oh, I am saying I love this crazy business, and I'm attracting all the crazies. Oh my gosh. So now when I say the word crazy, I have to say delete, erase, because I really don't want that in my head. I want to attract well-qualified buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase. And I want them at a high price point because I want to raise. If you want to give yourself a raise, just change who your buyer is. Go to a higher price point in homes that you're selling and working with. So anyway, you've got to think positive in this business. This business can be a very lonely business because you are working individual agents, you are working by yourself, but that's why it's so important to come to the office, come to these trainings, come to the team meetings, stay involved. Because if you never stay involved and you never come in and you're at your office and you're at your home, you will never do anything. You don't make money sitting on your TV going click, click, click. That's not going to make you money. What makes you money is going out and networking. My big thing this year is networking more. I'm not a very good networker. I went through a divorce 4 years ago. I didn't like networking. I didn't want to talk to people other than my clients. So this year I've been going out and networking to strange people I've never met before. And I challenged myself. I said, they don't know me. So if they're mean or rude, I can just leave. So I've been going to these networking groups, introducing myself, stay a short period of time, hour and a half, then I can leave. But what it does is, they will remember me. I know they will. I was the hippie chick for the Halloween party. I would have my costume here, but I didn't think about it. I'll do it later. So anyway, you have to network. You have to get out and meet people. You have to know your database. You need to put your contacts in your KW command. You need that information because your business is your database. I talked to this agent. She's fairly new, about a year and a half old, but she was from a previous company. She didn't do any business. She transferred to us, and now it's just booming. Her business is booming because we're teaching her how to lead generate, how to go out and get what you want. And she's like going, oh my gosh, this lady I used to work with 15 years ago, she called me. She found out I was in the business, and she needs help. She wants me to list her house. I said, congratulations. If you did not let everybody know you're in real estate, they do not know. There's friends and family out there that want you, that will give you their business. You just got to let them know I'm in real estate, and not just one time. You got to tell them over and over and over, because people will think of me for the longest time, oh, she's an accountant. No, I'm not. I'm in real estate. She's an accountant. So now after 18 and a half years, they know I'm in real estate. But you have to continually to let them know because they forget. They say, well, to me, I did this little thing with my clients. It took a year and 2 months for them to actually call me up or email me saying, thank you for what you did. I really appreciate it. That's how long it took me to consistently market to them month after month. And these are my clients. So even people you know, do not always respond to you. They're like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then like, ooh, hey, it takes them a while. Because if you get your name in front of them, Julie Jones, real estate agent, broker, they will finally figure out, they'll see your name with that name, and they will associate the two together. And that's what you need to do for buyers. I'm putting this down now because I'm tired of holding it. And I'm not wearing it. If I had a microphone, I could do the microphone. Ooh, karaoke. Who's my karaoke lady? So enough of my little soapbox. I get on soapboxes. And when you have a buyer, there's several different ways to find buyers. Do you guys have buyers yet? Anybody's working with a buyer? Rachel, how'd you find your buyer?
I went to high school with him.
I thought it was somebody, a past person you knew.
Yeah, and now he's dating my roommate, or my old roommate.
Okay, what came first, the buyer or the dating your roommate?
Dating my roommate, and then I had lunch with her, and then she was like, "Oh, hey, Bryce is looking." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I reached out to him.
See how important it is to reach out to your people, to let them know I'm in real estate. You can email them, you can text them. You can send them a note card. Go to Tuesday morning to Dollar Store and get inexpensive little note cards and get your business card and say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm doing real estate now. Who do you know that wants to buy and sell real estate? That's your first introduction. Then email them, hey, remember me, I'm in real estate. Happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, you know, whatever you can think of that will be of value to them. You don't want to tell them every time you contact them, I'm in real estate, remember that? Actually, I do that. But my friends know me. My brother one time, I sent him this email that said, Julie Jones, happy Thanksgiving. He goes, I saw your email and I erased it. I said, okay, it worked. He goes, no, it didn't work. I didn't open it. I said, no, but it worked. He goes, how did it work? I did not open it. I said, you saw that Julie Jones with Keller Williams Realty sent you a happy Thanksgiving, just from that title, that the subject line. And I said, so that's all it's about, is thinking of me that I'm in real estate. And he went, because he didn't think it worked because he didn't open it. They don't have to open your email. All they have to do is subconsciously see your name, that you're a real estate agent. And if they see it enough times, it's going to be automatic on that. So just kind of keep that in mind. And so let's say we're going to begin this class like you already have a real estate agent. If you took the Ignite 8-hour class that I teach, that is how to get buyers. So we might go backwards a little bit, but I don't want to go totally off this class. So this is, you have a buyer, now what do I do? What do I do with this new buyer? You can get buyers several ways. You can call your friends. And you want to call your friends and let them know that you're in the business. Send them a handwritten note. Nobody sends handwritten notes anymore. And I told that to somebody in the class, and I go, what's that? I said, you handwrite it, you address it, you put a stamp on it, then you take it to the U.S. Post Office and you mail it. Some people had no idea how to mail a card because they've never done that. The stamps, I know. And that's the changing in how we do business. But it is good to go back and do those soft touches like that. Let them know, hey, I'm thinking of you. Once a quarter, send them a note. Hey, hope you're having a great day. You don't have to say not much. I have these smiley faces I got online, and I put them on my card. So that way they open up and they see someone smiling at them. When someone smiles at you, what do you want to do? Smile back. Exactly. Exactly. So that's what I do on my handwritten cards. So you call them, you want to verify, you call them, hey, set the appointment. And on buyers, if you've never met them before, I strongly recommend meeting them here in the office. They're strangers. We also have safety in our buyers class as well. And I want to emphasize that as well. You have the people come into your office. You don't meet them at the home. You don't meet them at Starbucks if you don't know them. You have them come into the office. Make it a formal presentation to them. Make it formal. And you can give them a questionnaire. If you see on page 3, there's a buyer questionnaire for them to fill out when they come into the office. Buyer 1's name, buyer 2's name, their cell number, their email, information of the current home. Do you own or do you rent? Why is that important? They're buying a home, but what if they own another home? What's the next question?
Are you selling?
Yes, exactly, Judy. Do you need to sell that home before you buy your new home? Lately, my buyers have said, no, we're good, we're gonna keep it as an investment property. Very good, great. That works for me. And some say yes. So if they wanna list the home too, then you need to go after their listing as well. Must you sell or complete the lease before buying? That's if they have a lease. If somebody has a lease and say they wanna buy a house now and the lease isn't up until May, I never encourage them to break the lease. You never, never, never encourage someone to break a lease to close on a property, because that's not what we do, because that would be breaking the law, getting somebody to do that. What, if they ask me, I'll say, look in your lease agreement, I do not have a copy of it, and see what your out is in the lease agreement. It should be in there on what you need to do if you decide to terminate your lease early. Read your lease agreement, it will be in there. And so some of them are like, that's okay, I'm fine. I know the people, they'll let me out in 30 days. Some people will go, yeah, I have in May. So somebody can get out of their house until May and they're a buyer. To me, that's a great opportunity to take them to a builder who's in the process of building their house, and it's not going to be completed till April or May. So it'll be completed about the time their lease comes up. Just because someone says that my lease is up in 6 months, don't think that that's it. I have to wait 6 months. Say, what kind of house are you looking for? You want a new house? You want a resale? If they say new, then you go to all your builder contacts and say, what do you have that's going to be completed in about 5-6 months? And that will help them. One, you know you have a closing on the books, that you're going to have a closing in April, May. You have them as a buyer, and you also need to get them to sign the buyer's rep agreement, which we are going to go over. Another question, how soon do you need to move? 30 days, 60 days, 6 months? If we can find the right property, are you prepared to make a decision now? Yeah. Are you ready to make a decision? Are you willing to make a commitment now to the house? I met someone, it was at a builder's house, she needed representation, so I said, I can represent you. And her lease wasn't gonna be up for a while. I said, well, that's up to you. And no, if we need to, we can wait until closer to your lease. The house that she put under contract is going to be ready in January. Her lease is up like in March, which is perfect for her. It was good timing for her. Closing the end of January, they skipped the monthly mortgage for February, so the first payment's not till March. I said, is that doable for you? She said, absolutely. And she was scared to death, first-time home buyer. First-time home buyers are very, very, very scared. They want your guidance. They want your advice because they have no idea. So you got to give them the comfort that you know what you're doing, that you understand this. And that is by taking classes and practicing scripts. And there are buyer scripts for you to practice. The other thing, next you need to ask about the financials. I don't want to know the financials. I want to know if they talk to a loan officer or not. Then I'll ask them, do you have good credit, bad credit? And they'll give you all this information you really don't want to know. And how are your late payments? Do you have any student loans? Student loans, if they've ever been behind and they're caught up, usually takes a little longer for them to get approved for financing if they have student loans somewhere in the past. So that's another good question to ask you. What is the name of your lender? Do you have a name of your lender? It says, are you pre-qualified? Well, I kind of like pre-approved better. Pre-qualified means they picked up the phone and they talked to a lender. It doesn't mean that lender pulled their credit report. It means they just talked to the lender. As a seller's agent and as a buyer's agent, I want to make sure they pull the credit report. I want to make sure they know their debt to ratio. Yeah, the credit report might be great, but then all of a sudden they start digging a little deeper and they find out, oh wow, your debt ratio is too high, we can't mortgage you. So I like to get a lender that can look at all that information and be pre-approved. On the seller side, I want the buyer to be pre-approved, not pre-qualified. And also on the sell side, I would pick up and talk to the lender as well to find out about the buyer, especially if it's a pre-qualified and it said, I need pre-approval and this is the reason why. Have you done this, this, and this? Yes, I have. Okay, great. Just want to make sure they're good to go. And because that way you get from the lender that they feel comfortable and that they can get this loan closed. You don't want to work on a buyer's loan for 3 months and a week before closing find out that they no longer qualify. I had a listing and we had it under contract. A week before closing, I was a seller side, I get a call from the lender and said, I am so sorry, I have some bad news. I was like, interesting, why is the lender calling me? He goes, the client's no longer qualified, the buyer doesn't. I said, wonderful. Well, I found out the buyer had back child support from the state of Atlanta, Georgia, city state, and it just caught up with him, and he owed $30,000 in back child support, and it was old. It wasn't recent, it was old child support. And so they put him on a payment system, and that monthly payment knocked his debt ratio out. The buyer knew about it. He said he forgot. How could you forget you owe $30,000? And it's kind of like, oh, I forgot. And so it fell out of contract because of that buyer. And the whole time, the lender was saying, oh yeah, it's good, he's good to go. And then all of a sudden this came in, he goes, we've been asking for this information and we just got it in and this is what we found out. It was a different state. I said, okay, caught up with him. He goes, yeah, they caught up with him. So you never know with buyers or sellers. And this new buyer I was telling you about, and she goes, I'm nervous. When do I get excited? I said, you get excited when I tell you to. And she goes, when's that? I said, when it funds. She goes, when it funds, I said, when you have the keys in your hand, that's when you get excited. She said, okay. And I said, I'll tell you how to start getting excited. Oh, we just passed this big one. Woo, that works. Okay, we're getting closer. I said, I'll tell you things like that, but you don't get jumping for joy until you get the keys in your hand. I also told her I believe in visualization. I said, I want you to visualize. I said, can I get off this over? You have the keys in your hand. It just funded. You have the keys in your hand and visualize opening that front door to your new home for the first time. Feel the joy that you're feeling, feel the excitement that you're feeling, and that's what I tell my buyers. So that way they can see not when it closes, but after the fact. You always put in your mind after the fact, celebrating, yes, I passed the track test, yes, I did this. I tell my pre-qualifying students this. And I said, so visualize yourself celebrating, unlocking that door for the very first time that it's your new home. She said, okay, I can do that. I said, I know you can. Yes, you can. And so what you think about is very important. How you think and how your buyers think and your clients think are just as important on how you think as well. So you want to find out, you pre-qualified, pre-approved? No, I haven't talked to a lender. Do you have somebody you want to use? No. If I have 3 lenders, I can send you information on 3 lenders. And I like to do this before I'm even in the office, really, because if they're not qualified, I want to make sure that we're not wasting my time and their time. Say the lender says, they have some iffy things, but I know I can close them. It'll take about 6 to 9 months to clean up their credit. Why are we going to start looking now when we have 6 to 8 months? And I will build up a relationship with them and keep in contact with them because I don't want to show them houses that they can't buy now. But I will keep in contact with them and continue that relationship. And of course, I always have them sign an IABS, and right after I explain to them the IABS, then I get them sign a buyer's rip agreement. To me, a buyer's rip agreement is very, very important. In the old world, we didn't do it very often. Now with the technology and the internet, you need to make sure you have a buyer's rip agreement signed. That's your agency agreement between them and you and your broker. And that way you know they're serious that they want to use you. If you send your client to an open house and they don't have a agency agreement signed with you, a buyer's rep agreement signed, and you send them to my open house, oh, I haven't signed anything. I said, well, hi, welcome. I'm Julie, I'm your new agent. Because they don't have anything signed. They're free game.
I have a question that, if they,
Question?
so if you say you have your buyer's rep agreement and they've signed it and they went to a builder and that, the builder showed them around and everything and they're supposed to tell the agent, the builder's agent, that they already have someone.
What are you talking about? If my client, she's asking about what happens if your buyer goes to a builder.
Right.
Without you.
Right.
I tell my buyers, do not go to builders without me. If you do, the minute you step in their building, say, hi, I'm represented, here's my agent's card.
But if they don't say that and they have signed a buyer's agreement with you.
Did that happen to you?
No. I'm just asking because, it could happen.
We're going to go over the buyer's agreement. And if they go to somebody else, we'll get to that when we get to, there's a lot more than just an easy answer.
Okay.
But when I have my clients go to builders, I say, do not go to a builder without me. If you do, here's their card. If you do, let me know you're going before you go, and I'll call and talk to that builder and register you over the phone. And some builders now want to make sure that you have a buyer's rep agreement signed, that they are your client and not just a customer. I've never had a builder screw me around. I visit builders. I have a relationship with a builder's rep just like I do with my clients. So if my client goes before me and I don't know about it and I find out after the fact, I can pick up the phone and I'll call. Hey, Kim, I understand my client, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, came to visit you. Those are my clients. Did they let you know? No, I want you to let you know. Those are my clients. I have a buyer's rep agreement signed with them. Okay, great. So it's important to have that relationship with builders as well.
Okay.
And that's just by going to visit builders. Just like I do with my clients, I go visit my builder reps once a month at least and say, hey, I'm Julie. What can I do for you? Let me bring them something. Bring them a little toy, my clapper hands. Oh, these are my clappers. I bring them something stupid like this. Applause, you're doing such a great job. I mean, it's corny, but they remember you that way. And they appreciate that because no one else is doing that for them. Yes, do you have a question? Okay. Does that help you?
Yes.
Okay. They don't like it when I give them the microphone.
Guess what? You have one viewer.
Yay! Who is it?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Hey, I would like to thank my one viewer for watching us. We have many surprises for you. If you don't pay attention, you're going to miss our many surprises today. What should be Avis? She'll like my surprises.
If they comment on it, then I can see.
So you want to make sure they've talked to a lender. You want to make sure you know what they qualify for. Because you don't want to show them $350,000 homes if they only qualify for the max 300 or 250. Because if you show them homes more than what they qualify, they're not going to like any homes at the lesser amount. So how much do you qualify for? I'm working with some clients now. They were supposed to be moving in January, but now I found out they're going to be moving this summer. So I told them you need to talk to a lender first. Because I don't want them, because I don't know what price point to show them, first-time home buyers. They don't know what they want. So I have them with the lender right now. They filled out the application yesterday. The lender's working with them on what they qualify for. So between now and when they get here, well, they're going to be here over Thanksgiving, but before they're ready to buy, I can start sending them homes on the MLS that I know they qualify for. And by doing that, I'm emphasizing and getting a relationship and a rapport going between now and then. And if they already know their lender, say I need a copy of a pre-approval from your lender. You need their name, their phone number, and the name of their company. How much do you qualify for? How much can my buyer spend? And what price range are you looking for? I always ask my buyers this. What are you looking for? What kind of price range? And they always give me a payment. I want to say around $1,500 a month. Okay? And so you can ask the lender, hey, for $1,500 a month, how much do they get? And they'll give me the price point. Or you figure it out yourself, but this is not a math class. And the lender will tell me. And I'll say, okay. And I said, for what your payment is you want to stay around, these is what you get. Well, I don't like any of those. Well, that's what you get. You want me? I'll go up $5,000 more, and you see. So I show them what they want versus what I think they're going to buy. Because if I automatically show them what I think they're going to want, because I have a pretty good idea after talking to them what they're looking for, they're going to think I'm trying to up them the price and sell them more of a house than what they're actually looking for. So I always show them what they think they want. The one thing I always get is, I want a house, a 2,000 square foot house on an acre for $250,000. I said, how far out do you want to go? Because go farther enough out, yeah, you'll find that. And I'll say, I'll show you what you get for $250,000 on a large lot. It could be a half acre to an acre. That would be my search criteria, and you tell me what you think. And because they're just starting to look, they have no idea. They're like, oh, the other thing you don't want them to do is go to Zillow. I went to Zillow, and these are the houses I found. And I tell them, well, Zillow is a third-party contractor. They're not directly related to the MLS. If you really, really want to search on a website and not my website, I prefer you to go to Realtor.com because that's linked directly to the website. Some of them just will not go to your website. They want to go to Zillow or Trulia. But when I tell them Realtor.com, I said, that's the accurate information. They're like, okay, I'll do that. So I send them to there, then they send me what is there. If they go on Zillow, they might send me this house and I'll look it up in the MLS and say, that closed 3 months ago. Well, it shows active in Zillow. Yes, it does, but it closed 3 months ago. Because they don't have the accurate information. So I always direct them either to my website or to realtor.com because that is linked directly to the MLS. I know we need to promote our websites, but hey, some people just refuse to go because they think, and some people will go to other agents' websites. And they'll go, I really love their search criteria, their search page. So I'm using theirs, but they will then they will email me the homes that they like from somebody else's website and other companies. They've done that before too. And they'll say, don't worry, I'm not using them. I'm just using you. I said, don't click on anything and agree to anything. Or you might be agreeing to a buyer's rep agreement. You have no idea because you don't read the small print. I've heard that happens with some of the other real estate online companies. And you're going to ask them, what are you looking for? What features are most important to you? Ask, what is your top 5 features? What do you have to have? I want a 3-car garage. I want a large lot. I want a fireplace. I want gas. And they will tell you what's important. I need a big game room. I want 2 game rooms. They will tell you what's important. I give them a list. If there's a couple, Mr. Jones, you write your 5. Mrs. Jones, you write your 5. And don't look at each other's 5s. No, don't look at each other's list. Then they write their 5. They give it to me. And it's hilarious. I'm not going to carry that around. It's hilarious because they're so different. They might have one thing similar. And they're like, oh. I said, so what is on that list that y'all can both buy together? I said, you guys going to buy 2 houses? No. So this is the exercise to do so you guys become more aware of what each of you want. So that way you become on the same page. And it makes them go, wow, we want 2 different things. They never realized that because they assumed they wanted the same thing. It's a very good exercise to go. It's 10 o'clock. It's time for break. Break time. Remember break time, guys?
Yes.
We have a break time. Come on, guys. We have a break time for you. Come on, Brian. Come on, Brian. Come on, guys.
But where's your mask?
I need to put my mask.
Oh, heavens.
We have a break time entertainment for you.
Where? Where do we start?
Hang on. I got to turn my music on.
I think so. I'm not sure. But Ryan, you need to get up here.
I need technology. We have entertainment for you for those who are listening because nobody ever watches our live stream. Happy Halloween! Woohoo! Happy Halloween! This is our conga line. Come on, Brian! Be sure to
Come on, Brian!
So what's that time? Okay, Rachel. And I'm trying to find the conga music. What's the name of that conga song? I think I muted it.
How long do we have to break?
10 minutes. Welcome back to class from our wonderful break we just had. We have new music and surprises to show you as the day progresses for those who are watching us.
Doesn't show up.
Oh, you're not online anymore. Oh, you're still online. Thank you for
No,
joining.
no, I'm talking about this. It didn't
Thank you
show
for
up.
joining us. During the break, we kind of went sideways and talked about some MLS stuff that we're working on. So you need to ask them what features they had. We talked about them doing their list, what they like, what they don't like, how many bedrooms they're looking for, how many baths, do they want 1 story, do they want 2 story, do they usually half-acre lots? Is it okay if it's on a septic? Sometimes most larger lots have a septic system, especially in Georgetown. What's important to you is what you need to find out. What kind of flooring do you want? I want all tile because I have 3 dogs and 2 cats and a monkey. You never know. But ask them, you know, is carpet okay if we find everything you like other than it just has carpet? Gas or electric in their house? What kind of master do you want? The big thing I've walked into lately that's important to my buyers in the last year or 2 has been the women want a tub in the master bathroom. And the builders started catching up with that, and everybody's taking the master tub out and put in walk-in showers. But they want a walk-in shower in a master tub. And now I was telling them, well, you have this other bathroom. No, that's the kids. I'm not going to use their bathroom. So they've been wanting a master tub. Has been very important. And so I show them homes with master tubs. I had one man. Yay, we didn't run you off.
No,
I was
I'm
afraid.
starving.
I was afraid I ran you off.
No, where did you go? That new coffee shop down the street on the square?
Oh, okay.
I thought we thought she can't go far 'cause she has stuff here.
No. I was gonna pass out if I didn't get some food in it.
We don't want you to do that. Oh yay! Yay! See, I have those.
Oh,
I borrowed them.
good.
So you need to ask them what is important to you in the house, and on this it has a checklist on what they have. You want a sprinkler system, septic system, backyard, fireplace. What is important to them? And like I said, the master bathtub, yes or no, is big. Some like I want a huge walk-in shower. I don't care about the tub. Some will say I want a tub. And I said, okay, I'm just going to show you things with and without a tub, so that way you can see what your choices are and you can make a decision. But focus on the description if it has, in the pictures on the master tub or not, since that's important to you. I had one buyer, and he was a big guy, like 6'5", big guy. Not that, but just big. And so he didn't even go with the shopping. The husband did. The wife and I went shopping. And the reason why is because the first thing we did was go into the master. She'd get into the master shower. She goes, oh, this is too small. So we would leave. If the master shower was not big enough, then we wouldn't even look at the house. That was their main priority. We found a house that he liked. It was a nice big roomy master shower. We brought him back and they put an offer in that house. But he didn't want to waste his time looking at houses where the shower just was not going to work. And that was his priority. How big is the shower? And a lot of buyers have that. Do they have a swimming pool? Do you want a swimming pool? Some people, lately, all my clients, they want swimming pools. Okay, I'll show you what you get for a swimming pool. $400,000 and up. I said, here's some that are less than that. And like, oh, I don't like the house. I like the pool, but not the house. It's too small. I said, those are your choices. And I said, how about if we get you a house that has a great neighborhood pool in it to go to? And because they want a pool for their kids. And I went, that might work. And so that's what happened to my clients from Utah. They came in, they brought the kids to move to Texas, saying they're going to get a pool in their backyard. That's how they brought them to move to Texas. But we couldn't find one in their price point for what they were looking for. So we found a new build. It was 2 blocks from the pool. And they talked to the neighbors, and the neighbor goes, all the kids go to the pool. You know, that way they're with their friends, they have everything to do, and they're all there together. Because it wasn't for mom and dad, it was for the 3 boys. And I said, yeah, and look at it this way. If they have your own pool, it's just going to be them in their own pool. They're not going to, you know, and you're going to invite their friends over. Think of the liability of having watched their friends at a pool, people you don't know. And then she said, good idea. So that's what we ended up doing. We had a kid-friendly neighborhood with a great neighborhood pool. And the boys are loving it. even though I think they were here one day before it got cold.
No.
But it's Utah, still warmer here than it is in Utah. And I always ask them, what's the best way to communicate? Phone, text, email, let me know. On the next page, page 6, it's a buyer's file. It's kind of like their property address. I have them fill it out. How did you hear me? I always like to know, how did you hear about me? That way I know what marketing is working and what isn't. And usually, it's usually a referral or an open house is where I get most of my clients from. But don't you want to know, I saw your stuff on Facebook. You're like, great, my Facebook stuff is working. That way you know what you're doing is working and what isn't working. It talks about their contact information, the best way to contact them, their lender information, and the title company information when you put a house under contract. I get all this information and I stick it in the front cover of my file. And that way I can open the file up. Okay, I'm a paper person. I'll open the file up and everything is right there. So I don't have to look through all my papers to find out what I want. I want this paper on the top of my file always, even after closing. So I can look fast and see what information I need, and I don't have to go through my organized files. So it's very important to fill this out. You won't know the title company with the buyer until you have the house under contract, and that's when you can add the title company's information. And on page 7, it talks about more checklists, IABS. Do they have one in here?
I saw one, yeah.
So let's go through the checklist. Go to page, right here, IABS. And what I love is, oops, that's my ears. That's not gonna work. Just seeing if you're paying attention. The IABS, what I like to do, and I said, Texas law. I tell my buyers, I have them come into the office. I want to meet with them. I said, per Texas law, I have to show this to you. They'll say, my last agent didn't make me sign one of those. And I'll say, well, see, Texas law requires all real estate license holders to give the following information about brokerage services to prospective buyers, tenants, sellers, and landlords. Texas law. You do want me to follow the law, don't you? Well, yeah. So I do follow the law. So per Texas law, I need to go over this with you. And just don't say, here, sign it. You need to explain to them agency. This form leads you in them signing a buyer's rep agreement. That's why I love this form so much. I tell them, I said, this is all a disclosure. It's about an agency agreement. Minimum duties as a broker. See if you're paying attention. I'm wiggling. It says minimum duties as a broker. The one I like the best is that the broker has to present all offers. It's number 3. Answer the client's questions and present any offer or counter offer from the client. I love that as minimum duties because you get these discount brokers and all they do is email stuff back and forth. Sometimes you'll see in the MLS it says send all offers directly to the seller. Ooh, so if you saw that and your client wanted to make an offer on the house, what would you do? That happened to a new agent. She was so confused. She calls me. She goes, I know I'm not supposed to contact the seller. It says send all offers to the seller. I'm not supposed to do that. Am I? I said, no. Look in the IABS. It says the broker is supposed to send all offers, not you. So you send it to the broker. She goes, well, I emailed him. I called him. He has 5,000 different email addresses and phone numbers. He was like somebody, a discount broker that did this for all over state of Texas. So it looked like he had hundreds and hundreds of locations. I said, well, you need to email him a copy of the IABS. You need to highlight where it says the minimum broker's duties that he is to present all offers, and also leave him a voicemail with that same information on it. And then finally he responded to her email. I will forward the offer to my client. And so basically all he did was, she sent it to him, he forwarded it to the client. No help from the client, no presentation from the client, didn't explain it, and you could tell by the responses back. I said, you followed the law, even though other agents don't, you follow the law. Because if you're ever taken to the court of law, and you said, yeah, I went directly to the client, the seller, that's what it said. They said, yeah, but you're not supposed to, Texas Real Estate License Act. That's their broker's job, not yours as a buyer's agent. And so you want to follow the law, especially if you're ever taken to court of law, and we never want to be taken to the court of law. The other thing I gotta take this off.
You got them on backwards.
I like that side better. There we go. Judy, you can wear them now. And it talks about how to represent a seller, how to represent a buyer. It talks about information on intermediary. And then it talks about a sub-agent. Ooh, sub-agent. And so it tells them a license holder acts as a sub-agent when aiding a buyer in a transaction without agreement. That means you do not have a signed buyer's rep agreement. We have no agency agreement. Buyer's rep agreement is an agency agreement to represent the buyer. A sub-agent can assist the buyer but does not represent the buyer and must place the interest of the owners first. That's not my flip chart. I'm going to have to erase that. Oh, I like this one. Ooh, I know this isn't an agency class, but it does have to do with buyer. So you have broker A and broker B, okay? This is the listing, and this is the buyer side, okay? Mr. Buyer, if you refuse to sign a buyer's agency agreement and we don't have an agency agreement, then when I show you this house over here, I'm not representing you, I'm actually representing the seller. Because we don't have a representation. You are still a customer. And my interest is going to be on the side of the seller. Anything you give me confidential, legally, I'm supposed to let the listing agent know because I'm representing the listing agent, not you, because you're still a customer. I said, you do want to be a client, you do want my advice and my opinion and be able to tell you if it's a good price and keep things confidential. You do want that, don't you? Well, yeah, of course I want that. Then for you to become my client, I need to have you sign a buyer's rep agreement. And I said, and I'll go over and explain that to you. I said, all my buyers sign a buyer's rep agreement because I want to make sure that I can represent them and the fiduciary duty that I can and not just have you as a customer. Well, I've never signed one before. I said, well, you know, it's that Texas law thing. We have a Texas Real Estate License Act that we have to follow, and I want to make sure I keep my license. I want to make sure I do things the proper way. And also, it protects yourself from somebody else trying to steal your buyer, is what it does. Too much information?
No.
And then the next thing on our list is buyer's representation. So they said, yeah, I'll sign it. And if they say, I refuse to sign it, I'm not signing anything. On the IABS, put a mark through it and say, buyer refused to sign, date it, and put the date on it, and your initials. And put it in your file. That way, if you're ever taken to the court of law, they said, where's the first piece of paper you're supposed to have them look at? It's right here, sir. I gave it to them. They forgot, they refused to sign it. But I have it right here, the date and time, my initials, when they actually had it. And that, they're gonna go, wow, she knows what she's doing. She has all her paperwork in order. I was teaching a brokerage class, and this guy was taking the class to be a broker several years ago. He goes, my broker said I didn't have to do this. I can wad it up, short term, wad it up, throw it down, and walk away. I said, wow, that's interesting. I said, so if you're in a court of law, I said, and they said, where's your IABS? Are you going to say, well, I showed it to him, he didn't want to sign it, so I threw it away. It's somewhere in the landfill right now. One thing, he said he threw it on the ground. Ain't that called littering? Yeah. He didn't say he threw it away. He said he threw it on the ground. And I said, one, you littered. You're not supposed to litter in Texas. And I said, and two, your buyer's going to have a different version. They're going to say, I never saw that form in my life. Who are they going to believe? You or your buyer? I said, trick here is protect the clients, not us. So they're going to believe your buyer over you because you have no written documentation. And so by the end of the class, he goes, okay, I get it. I'll start doing it the proper way. I said, it's just only your neck. It's just you that you're protecting. If you're going to be a broker, you need to have people do it the proper way, especially if you're going to have agents under you. Mm-hmm. It's a big liability. So you just mark across. Sometimes I'll say, well, can you just say right here, initial right here, that told you about it? Okay, I'll initial right there. They just acknowledge that they saw this page. I know. that is a very, very important form. So then after I explain to them, I flip over. Let's see, where's my next one? There we go. Is this it? Yes. It's my page 29.
Just like two.
It looks like this. That's after the presentation.
Thank you.
Is that our lunch already?
No.
Like that's early. I know. I thought, well, you never know. I'm gonna have to eat this. So then you have the buyer's rep agreement. So from the IABS, I said, you do want me to represent you as the client, don't you? Well, yeah, I want representation. And I tell them, I said, hell, I'll explain this to you. And I'll tell you what, if you don't like me, you can terminate it anytime. And all I ask is that any house I showed you, I will have that MLS numbers on that house. So if you decide to buy that house I showed you, I will be the procuring cause on why you bought it, and I will represent you in that house. They said, okay. I said, then again, I might not like you. I might want to fire you. And they're like, oh, why would anybody want to fire me, terminate me? It's a psychological thing to them. And you say, I might not like you. And they're like, why would you like me? Everybody likes me. That's what, think about what you say in your head. I can fire you too. Why? I've never been fired. And I'll say, well, and they always ask me, have you done it before? Yes, 2 times. And you can use mine 2 times if you need to. Because we're all underneath the second broker. So yeah, it's probably more than that if you talk to many people. And say, yes, that has happened before. And I said, you're not serious? You want to see too many houses? You're not focused on a certain area? Yeah, I've done it twice. And both times it's because I felt sorry for them. I wanted to help them. I wanted to be too helpful. And when you do terminate, I always have to think about it for a long, several days. And I know in my gut it tells me to walk away, and I just can't. And finally, I'm like, I gotta do it. Just cut the losses and move on, because I don't want to dig myself deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole, and continue wasting my time. The last one I fired, it was Hurricane Harvey weekend. I got them as a referral from an agent in Killeen. They wanted the Williamson County area. They were retiring from the military, and that's where they wanted to live. I said, okay. I showed them what they wanted to live in, and the husband said, I always picked out the houses. It's time for the wife to pick out the house. We're gonna let her pick it out. Whatever she says goes. I said, great. She would come find a house that she really loved, and he would look at her going, I don't like this one. And she's like, I don't want to pick a house that he doesn't like. So he was sabotaging it the whole time. He wasn't gonna let her pick out the house, but he wanted her to think she could. And it wasn't a very nice situation. And so I represented both husband and wife. We looked at so many houses, and they never could make up their mind. And I thought, in Hurricane Harvey weekend, why is that important? That morning, Saturday morning, we were supposed to see 6 houses that day. I called them up. I said, there's a hurricane. There's a lot of flooding going on. Builders are calling me and telling me that they are canceling because they're not going to be open because of the flooding. And they're like, that's ridiculous. I'll call you back in 30 minutes. I said, okay. He calls me back 30 minutes later. I mean, this is like 7 in the morning. He calls me back at 7:30. He goes, okay, yeah, I'll watch the news. You're right. Why would I make that up? He goes, can we reschedule for tomorrow? I said, absolutely. Why would I make that up? And in Hurricane Harvey, there was a shortage of gas. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I had a diesel. I had no problem getting gas, and my diesel ran 900 miles. We went everywhere because they couldn't figure out what they wanted. And, oh, we have to stop and get gas. I said, okay, I'll wait for you. I made them follow me. I wasn't going to let them ride in my car. They need to spend their own gas. But when they said, you haven't had to get gas yet? I said, no, I have a diesel. I can go 900 miles. And I went, oh, because they just kept having to fill up. Finally, they never could make up their mind. We found a builder. They put a contract. They didn't put a contract, but we talked to a builder. They loved the house. We looked at the same location. We're going to get it, and all of a sudden, they changed their mind. We slept on it, and that's just not the right house. Okay, well, the next weekend I was going to be out of town, and they wanted to keep looking. I mean, I showed them a lot of houses. I want to say, gosh, I drove 800 miles showing them houses. I clocked it. I kept the mileage on it because I wanted to find out. But they were a referral, so I couldn't refer them to somebody else. And I thought, oh, this is just a nightmare. And so I told them, I said, I'm not gonna be home this weekend, I'm going out of town for 5 days. It's something I previously scheduled. I don't wanna do this to you. I don't want you to stop being looking for homes. And I was not going to get somebody that was backing me up to do this to them. I would not do that to my worst enemy. Have them show 5 days of homes, not knowing what they want to do, because they were retired, so they didn't have work days. And I said, so I don't want to slow you down in your house search, so I'm going to terminate this contract and the buyer's rep agreement, and anything I showed you, you will use me. They said, okay, that works. And so they found another house, a builder home. I'm not going to say how, but somehow through the grapevine, I've heard the story of how it continued. And when I heard the story, I thought, I am so glad I got rid of them when I did, that I terminated that. They got a house in New Braunfels. They used an agent down in New Braunfels. And the house they were going to get, it was a builder house, wasn't going to close until January. And November, they decided they don't want to wait till January. They want a house that closed in December. So they found another builder house they liked. They terminated the contract with the first builder house, went to a different builder with their agent from Killeen. And that agent in Killeen got put on their contract. That had done anything. So don't you think it was a good idea that I terminated them when I did? Yeah. They had a buyer's rep agreement signed. But still, I didn't want to work with them. I terminated it. So I have terminated buyers like that. And it's a hard decision to make, but after I make it, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I got rid of them. There's going to be another buyer that's going to be more willing and know what they want. And the husband was sabotaging every house. So if you look in the buyer's rep agreement, it's kind of already filled in on how to fill in the blanks. I want you to look at 3C, the market area. What areas would be showing them homes in? A buyer can have 2 buyer's rep agreement. Yours might say Williamson County. Or they could go Travis County or Bill County, sign another buyer's rep agreement with another agent that says Bill County or Travis County. So it's just in the county that you put here. I don't put neighborhoods. I put by county. And I put Williamson or Travis. Because in Pflugerville, one side of the street's Williamson, the other side of the street's Travis. Or I put Bill County or Williamson County. They might think they want Williamson County, but they find out they like Bill County better. That way I represent both sides. That's if you do business in Bill County. But just put the county down in which they live. Don't do the neighborhood, but put the county down. Then it talks about the terms, the broker obligation. You can flip through that. Have y'all filled one of these out before? So this is where it has intermediary, 8. Do they agree or not agree? If they do not agree on intermediary, that means you can't show them any listings from agents that are listed in the Round Rock or Georgetown market centers. Because Avis is the broker. Intermediary is according to the broker, and she's a broker of both Georgetown and Round Rock. So, say if you say no intermediary, well, I can't show you other listings in both our market centers. Because that would be an intermediary relationship if you choose one of their listings. You do want to see all the listings in the MLS, don't you? Well, yeah, okay. That's why you want to choose intermediary. And this is when they agree to it at the get-go. It's in the buyer's rep agreement as well as in the listing agreement. Yes or no. I've never had somebody say no. Let's see, broker's fees. You put down the broker's fee as a buyer's agent. I want 3% commission. If you have them sign this and they know that you're going to get a minimum of 3% commission, they go around you to the builder and they sign with the builder and you have this, you can remind them. It says right here, you sign this agreement. If you don't pay me and you don't put me as it, you owe me 3% commission. This is what protects you from that. And that's why it's in there, to keep, one of the reasons why, to keep buyers from trying to, oh, I want to use her just to see what's out there, then I'm going to go get a better deal. And I tell my buyers, if you don't get a better deal working with the builders because you don't use an agent, that's a marketing account that money comes from. That's set aside. That's a whole different budget than what is how to build a house and what's in the house expense. I said because just because you don't have a buyer's agent, that doesn't mean they're going to get a cheaper price. And I also have this thing that says why you need a real estate agent when working with a builder. Because you're like, oh, that guy's so nice, Judy's so nice, she works for ABC Builder, she's so nice and friendly to me. Well, yes, you're nice and friendly. However, Judy represents the builder. She doesn't represent you as a buyer. Of course she's gonna be nice and friendly, because she wants your contract. And so that's why it's important that you have a right for your own buyer's agent, even with a builder, because the builder, I'm here to protect you. Well, what do? Well, I'll give you a great example. I had a buyer's rep agreement. My client, we're having a house completed. I'm not ABC Builders. I'm going to say the name of the building company. And her husband was in South Korea with the military. She had his power agreement to sign for him on his behalf. We did all that before he went over there. And she had a little girl. She was probably 3 at the time. We sold her house, and we had a lease back. The lease back ran out, and the house that they were being built wasn't ready and completed. She goes, okay, I have a travel trailer, and stay at my friend's house with a travel trailer and their 2 boxer dogs. I said, okay, you sure? She goes, yeah, I'm fine, no problem. So they did that. Well, the builder kept putting us up and putting us up. Nothing was being done. Nothing was going to be completed. They didn't do what they said they were going to do. So I said, we're going to have a powwow. I canceled the fishing trip for this powwow because everybody can meet on this one day but me. So I said, sorry, I can't go fishing, deep sea fishing with you. I had to go to this meeting. Because what? We have fiduciary duty with our clients, to our buyers. So I'm there for my buyers. I canceled the fishing trip in Port Aransas because this is the only time everybody can meet but me, and I was going to be there. I had the construction manager. I had my client was there. I was there. The sales rep was not there. She was the one that kept telling us wrong information. She would not show up for that. And I had somebody else there, another higher up in the organization was there. We're all sitting in the living room table of the model homes. And we were talking. I said, we have issues right here. I said, you keep telling us things, you keep lying to us, we want to know exactly what's going on. You put hardy plank on the backside, supposed to be stucco, right here in contract. We want you to fix that. I don't care if you don't want to fix it. You need to fix it. That's per contract. That's how a buyer's rep protects you. You do something wrong, the builder doesn't do something right, you go after that builder and you have a powwow. We were sitting there and they were hee-hawing around. I said, her husband is in South Korea. Is this how you treat military families that are here, carrying on? She's living in a travel trailer with her daughter and 2 dogs because this house is not completed yet. Is this how you treat them? The builder guy goes, you're not going to play that card, are you? In front of me and my client. I went, oh, I cannot believe you just said that. Wow. You do not support military families who are over there fighting on our behalf. Their husbands and spouses are. I went, oh, that's not good. And he goes, oh, no, I'm sorry, I did not mean it. And I just looked at him. From that point forward, we got everything we wanted. And I asked her, I said, do you want me to file a complaint against him? Because that was uncalled for. That, to me, that was discrimination against you and your family. She goes, no, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine with it. I said, are you sure? She said, yes, I'm fine. I said, we're going to get them to do everything we want. And they did. You want this done? Okay, we'll do it. And so that's why you need a buyer's rep to protect the buyers. Because the builders don't protect the buyers. They're there to protect the seller, the builder person, not the people that are buying the house. Anyway, too much information again?
No, it's good to hear.
No, that's
real
good,
life.
yeah.
Does that help you with your answer?
Yes.
And you can use my stories if you want to.
Okay.
I share. That's what we're all about, Keller Williams. And you can kind of go on down. You have a place for you to sign it. Protection period, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. County, Williamson County, because our office is in Williamson County. You can kind of flip through here. Now go to page 33 at the bottom, where it says broker's printed name. You put Keller Williams Realty and our broker number here. And it says, oh, broker signature? No. You check broker associate signature as an authorized agent for broker. You sign your name. You are a general agency. This is an agency class, isn't it? You're a general agency with the broker, so you're able to sign on their behalf, and you put your signature here. But you check the second box. Because a lot of people don't understand, I'm not the broker. No, but you sign for the broker. Do you think the broker, Avis, is going to sign all our listing agreements, our buyer's rep agreements, and everything? You think she's gonna do that? I don't think so. Any questions on how I get them to sign a buyer's rep agreement and IAPS?
No.
Everybody's good with that? Let's see, what's next on my little list of things? They have
So
the
let me
checklist.
ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, talking about buyer representation and stuff, do you have all these documents with you, or the necessary documents with you when you do an open house?
No, at an open house, you have to have a license to an open house.
Right.
They're just actually looking at the house. As long as they're just giving them basic information on the house, you can. If they say, well, what other houses are in this area, then you're gonna have a substantial discussion on brokerage. Some people have the brokerage information on there to tell them about agency.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, I would love to talk to you, can we set up a meeting later and talk about it in my office? So, some people take the IAPS with them, some people do not. Because at that point, your first meeting with them, you don't know if you wanna represent them or not yet. They might not, I don't know, you might not want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, do you have a question?
Well, when I was doing an open house, I had a couple come in and they asked questions about the house, like,
Yes.
like about, say they wanted to replace the fence, that's what they were asking about. Would I have needed to give them information about brokerage services? 'Cause they were asking like, oh, could we
Will they replace the fence? I don't know, that'd be something to ask the seller.
Okay.
Cause you don't know if they're gonna replace the fence or not.
Yeah.
That would be something to ask the seller. Like I said, if that's important to you, it can always be written into your contract.
Okay.
It would be like, I love this property, what other properties are similar to this? I get a lot of clients from open houses, that's a whole different class. And I always ask them, why did you choose me as your buyer's agent from the open house? And they always say, it's your energy. I don't follow them around, but I have the Beatles playing, I have music, I have water, I have little popcorn, microwave popcorn, has a label on it I made, it says thanks for popping by. Cause the water they're drinking throw away, popcorn, they have to take it home and pop it. They love it, especially if they have kids. I just do things like that to give to them. And I just meet and greet with them. I'm just a people person. I don't sit and do whatever, oh yeah, come look at the house. I'll just kind of stand around, go, no, you have any questions, anything you're unhappy with? What are you looking for? I just ask them, are you working with an agent? If they're working with an agent, I say, great, who is your agent? That means do they really have an agent, or they just said that to make you back off? But I still think they have an agent. Great, and I just come back up, let me know if you have any questions. If they don't have an agent, I'll kind of go, hey, is this something you're looking for? Does this work for you and your family? I'll ask them that. Because one, is that house good for them? And two, you're getting information on what they actually are looking for. Assume all houses are smart houses. You don't know if that seller's watching you and listening to you at the open house. They shouldn't be listening to you. I don't know, is that a legal thing? Who's ever watching?
Audio is illegal.
Audio is illegal, they're not supposed to, but that doesn't mean they are. So always assume every house is an open house. Is a smart house. So, if this house doesn't work for them, I have a sign-in sheet. I love paper, I know, I kill trees. But I plant trees too and water them. And I have down, put your information down. Do you have a real estate agent, yes or no? If you do, what's your agent's name? And if they put down an agent's name, I say, I want to let your agent know you came by this house, so if you have any interest, they know that you are interested in this house, because they're being represented. And then I also can give that to the listing agent. If I'm holding the house open for another agent, I can give that to them, say, hey, these people came by and they have an agent, because they're not going to use you as a buyer's agent. And it makes the other agent go, oh wow, she's so good, I want to use her again for an open house. So not only are you marketing for the seller and other buyers, you're also working and marketing for that listing agent who has you doing the open house for them. So assume every house is a smart house. You don't want to go and say, oh, this house is overpriced. Yeah, I can give you another house that's similar to this, that's not overpriced, it's more marketable. Is that something you want to do? Don't do that. Because the seller's going to say, do you know they were saying my house is overpriced, even though they're not supposed to be listening? One time, I told my clients, buyers, always assume buyers, every house is smart. Not only open houses, but when you show houses. near the doorbells. They can record you until you get in the car. You don't know if they're being somewhere. They should have them out where they're visible, but you never know. I went to show my buyers this listing, and I always told them, we're assuming everything is a smart house, every house, even vacant homes. So we either write down our questions and comments, or we text back and forth. Thinking, here's what we text. My client will test me, I'll text her back. So what we would do verbally normally, we do it now texting. Or she'll write it down and let me sit, and I'll respond to it. Because just assume that. I had this one house. It wasn't a smart house. They didn't have a doorbell. But every major room, there's a cell phone sitting there. And we're like going, why did they leave the phone? In the office, in the master bedroom, there's one in the kitchen. Why do they have all these cell phones? We thought that was interesting. My client was like, he whispered, they're recording us. I said, we were like writing it down. He went, I said, okay, good. So we all knew that we were being recorded without them knowing it. So we made a few comments knowing they were recording, nothing good or bad about the house. And they'll say, wow, I didn't know this backyard was like this. The pictures are not on the MLS. I said, no, the pictures are not on the MLS. However, the agent did say, like I told you, that they're going to get professional pictures, and they're going to get more pictures in the MLS after they get professional pictures taken. Well, he heard us say that. So he made a comment to his client, his listing agent, about that comment. Well, the listing agent said, yeah, he said that, y'all said that. I told you more pictures were coming. My client's mad at me now because I don't have enough pictures in there. I said, interesting, that just confirms that those phones were recording everything we said. And so my clients, they move every 2 years, this group of people do. So they go in the office and they'd see that, and they would say, you know, I'm going to have to change this carpet. This is not going to work for my dogs. They would say things like that, knowing, hey, giving them feedback. I said, yeah, you can give them feedback if you want to, but don't say it's ugly, you hate it, other than the floor plan, don't be rude about it, but if you're going to say bad things, try to say something nice about it.
Say it in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't work out for us, so just be careful what you do say. And I was some of the things they say, I just look at them going, but it was okay, but they knew. So anyway, just assume when you do open houses, when you take your buyers into these homes, that every house is a smart house, okay? Just remember that. And be careful what you say and what you do. When I show buyers houses, we're kind of jumping around, but I'm kind of floating into this. I have I'm a paper person. You can do this on your tablet, anything that works for you. I have the paper in front of me. I flip the MLS sheet in half, and I write on the back side their comments. Love this house, hate this house. And I said, name this house. I always have my clients name the houses. The house with the three-legged dog. I still remember that. That was from a new agent, when I was a new agent. The dog had 3 legs. So we named it the house with the three-legged dog. Or the house with the blue and pink room, or the purple and pink room, Describe it. I said, let's label this house according to what will make you think of this house. We did. The house with the swimming pool. And they would label it, and I would put the label of the house down. And when we go to the next house, I'll say, okay, the last house we saw, rate it 1 to 5. Where does it rank? And each house I'd have them rank it. So at the end of the day, I have 2 or 3 houses that they like, and the rest of the house are gone. I said, we're not going to waste our time on houses that are okay. We're going to only focus on the ones that you love. And so that's how we're going to rank them. So at the end of the day, I know the top 2 or 3 houses that they like. And I have them rank them 1, 2, and 3. And that helps them to focus on what they're looking for. That list I told you about, 5, what each of them want, as I go to the house and I know what they want, I say, wow, this is double ovens. You can bake and cook at the same time. I had a buyer, she loved to bake and he loved to cook. And they wanted 2 double ovens. So that way she could bake as he cooked dinner. Both worlds. So I would point out things that were important to both of them as I showed them the house. Oh wow, this has gas. Look at this gas stove. This is really cool. And I pointed out to them, wow, this is a gourmet stove. Look at this great gourmet kitchen. Look at this great cabinets. Whatever it is that was on their list of 5s, I would point it out to them in case they missed it, so they know, oh wow, this does have my 5s on it, on the majority of what I want. Because they're not gonna find everything they want in a house in a resale house. That's called a custom built house, and that's gonna be too expensive. Well, it's gonna be more, probably more, or they would be building a house. And so, tell them, I said, you're not gonna find everything. So let's see if we can find the majority of the things that are on your list in any of these houses. And as you point it out to them, then they will say, oh wow, this has most of everything that's on our list. Hey, you got that 3-car garage, honey? Yeah. And you got that extra jacuzzi, jetted tub in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and the walk-in shower you wanted. So that's why it's good at the get-go to find out what the 5 most important things are, so that we can also point them out as they're viewing it. So we're back on the checklist, kind of on page 7. Notice the buyer. These are some of the checklists you might want to. In our office, you always have to have the wire scan warning sign. You have to have the, you have to have all of this, but the most important things, well, they're all important. You have to have a buyer's rep. You have to have notice to buyer. There's another one I do not see that they're requiring general information for a buyer. It's like a 5-page form that tells them general information about terms of buying a house and real estate. The reason why I know they have to sign it, because I did sign it and I got kicked back by Mary Fontek. Julie, you have to have this and also the inspector report. Do you want an inspection, yes or no? I only used to have buyers fill it out if they did want one, and it wasn't done. She goes, no, that has to be in our files now, because when we get over to the new system, it's part of it's required in the new system, so she's trying to get us into it now. So the required documents is you have to have the wire fraud document, you have to have IABS document, buyer's rep agreement is what you need to have in there, because you want to make sure you have an agency agreement with them. You need now to have the general notice, buyer notice, I think it's what it's called. And then now you have to add, do they want an inspection, yes or no? And when you first start, they don't know because they haven't selected the house they want yet. I always encourage my buyers to get an inspection. Well, look, the seller has this inspection. Can I just use theirs? Well, that's a decision you have to make, but I really encourage you to get your own inspection that you pay for, because it's your own inspection. Same thing with the survey. And we're gonna get into that in a little bit. 1 to 4 family contract, third party, HOA, does it have a septic? You need a septic addendum. Do they need to sell a house and close on that before they can close on their new house? That's the contingency. Backup offer, temporary lease. You can read down there what they have. Now, it says non-realty items on here. Correct me if I'm wrong, if that's Avis watching. If you ask a lender, personal items, some people want a non-realty. If you ask a lender, the lender will tell you, I want it on a bill of sale. If it's on a non-realty item, it becomes part of the contract. So the refrigerator, washer and dryer would become part of the contract. Lenders do not want it. I've asked several lenders. I started interviewing people. Do you want this on there? Because I know you don't, but I have to ask, and why? And because they don't want it to be part of the contract, it's between the buyer and seller, and they can pull the form off of bill of sale from the internet. They can search it and pull it. It could be for 0 value. And on it, if it's a refrigerator, I would say that Samsung refrigerator, model number, blah, 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 that's located in the kitchen. Very, very specific on what it's going to be conveying with the property, because you want to make sure you get that refrigerator in the kitchen and not the one in the garage. That's happened before, and that's how new agents buy refrigerators. Yeah. So if it's the house they want, I'll just go take a picture of and they want the refrigerator, I'll just take a picture on the refrigerator, the back of the refrigerator that says all that information on it. So that way I have a picture of it, and I can put it down give it to my clients to put in the bill of sale. I had an agent that I did a bill of sale. They wanted my seller refrigerator, so we did a bill of sale. And she goes, my office does not want to do a sale. We want a non-realty item, and that's the only thing we will accept. I said, well, it's not going to be a deal breaker, but ask your lender if that's how he wants to handle it. That's a lender question more so than anything else. So they did the refrigerator, the non-realty item. And I told him, I said, ask your lender. The lender's the one that would affect more than anybody. So they did refuse to sign my bill of sale that my client wrote up. It's not really mine. My client wrote it up. and they refused to sign it, so we did a they did a non-nullity. But I have that documentation that shows that we first sent them a bill of sale and they wanted a non-nullity. We have it documented. It talks about agent documents you need. If you're going on vacation, if you have a referral to another agent, you need to get that documented. So when your referral check comes in, they know who that check is for. Yeah. You see my email? We got a check in. Who's this belong to? There's nothing in the files that says that there's a referral going on. So you want to get all your referrals done. Then it talks about an offer checklist. You can go through and check it off. Also, in Dotloop, because we're still using Dotloop, there is a checklist, a seller's checklist, a buyer's checklist. Always pull that up. It's kind of like this. Emma, do you have a fully executed contract? Yes. Do you have a receipted contract? Yes. Do you have all that? Yes. And you answer that, so that way you know what's outstanding and what hasn't been done yet. And that's where that general form and the inspection form is on there. I sent it in, I have those checked off. Mary goes, you don't have these forms. I said, when did we have to start using those forms? She goes, last April. Oh, I never knew that. No one told me we had to start including those forms in there. Then she said it's because she's trying to get us used to automatically doing it, because when we actually switch over from Dotloop to, what is it, Transaction Manager, is that what it's called, or something like that, into the new system, we will be already used to doing all that. I'm like, okay. So I tell my clients, I'm going to send you a bunch of forms. Most of them are just disclosures. Some of them are not, and I'll explain what each of them are. And so it has a little checklist. You can use this one, or there's one online in Dotloop that you can check, and that way Mary has access to that, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, and that way they can look and see what you've done, what you haven't done, and what's outstanding. And it's a great form so you know yourself. Oh, I need that. I forgot about that. Because you get busy in this business, you kind of forget what you want to do. Then it talks about title checklist. You can go through that. Do you have everything you need to send to title? Does it have a survey? Does a T47 with the survey? Is it notarized? I'm going to get my horse box on that one, on the T47. On the T47, that goes with an existing survey. If the seller needs to get the survey and the T47 needs to be notarized. If it's not notarized, that's like sending in an offer without signing it. And a lot of agents will still say, oh, we get it notarized at closing. I said, then to me, it doesn't exist. You didn't send me in a true signed T47 with the survey. Well, we do it at closing. I said, oh, okay. So that means my buyer can order a new survey and your seller's going to need to pay for it. Huh? That's what it says. Read the contract. And that's why it's very important to take as many contract classes as you can, because you learn all these different things. The first time you take a contracts class, it's like, ooh, how am I going to remember all that? The second time, it's like, oh, I got this. Ooh, I never heard that before. Well, yeah, it's been there, but you're focusing on something else. So it's very important to do that. So, and it has a title checklist. I do strongly suggest title companies have these classes on how to read a title. I do suggest you take one of those classes, so that way you know. People say, oh, just look at Schedule C. No, you need to look at A, B, and C. You make sure that it's the same address that's on the contract on A. You need to make sure everything is lined up. The buyers and sellers are correct on who's in the title work. You need to make sure that, this is another good story from my title thing. I don't know how I get all these stories. And you make sure there's no outstanding debt. My seller, the title came back. It says she has a lien. I said her house is paid for. But it shows up a title, she has a lien. She bought it in 2001. There is no, she paid for it. It's paid off. You want the documentation from Wells Fargo that she paid it off. And they said, well, there's a lien on the title. And it was a different county's title company. We pay, don't even get me on that soapbox. Don't record me on this. I'm not even going to say it, because I'm going to say this live. But if you're working with a title company that's not in this county, you have to be very specific, make sure they do everything they do, because we are spoiled as agents in Williamson and Travis County. Our title companies take good care of us. Other title companies from other counties don't. So last Saturday, I spent researching it. Where is this lien from 1995? That's what showed up on her. So I thought, okay, the previous owners, I found out, I searched down the previous owners, that she bought the house from. I called them. They were very nice, sweet people. And that we had a mutual friend we knew. So we talked about it, and so she looked through her documents to see if she had any release of liens from when they purchased the house. And because that was their lien when they purchased the house. And she couldn't find any. So I told the this is what I did all last weekend, researching all this stuff. Because my client, my seller, was freaking out, just freaking out over this. And I said, well, let me do some research. And she felt better, and I said, okay, I found these people, name and phone number. I talked to them. She felt a little better about that. I asked them about this. She felt a little bit about that too. And so on Monday, I called the title company. I said, I'm not sure what you're looking for. I said, that's from 1995. The title companies do not keep anything past 10 years. So the title company where they closed that does not have this documentation. And I talked to the Help County Appraisal District. They called me back. The county clerk's office, I emailed them over the weekend. They called me back and they said, we have no record of that even being filed with the county clerks that it was released. So there's nowhere to be found in this paperwork. It's gone because it's so far back. I told the title company, I said, this is real interesting. When my client bought this house, this lien did not show up. I said the sellers would not have been able to buy the last 3 or 4 houses without paying off that lien. And it's never showed up on any of their title work. And I had a copy of my client's title work from when she purchased the house. She gave me her whole file so I can scan it in and send her copies. I still have it to give back to her. And I said, I do have that title, I'll send it to you and let me know if that works or not. They said, okay. So I got an email later on in the week that said, yep, they said this was good. Because on that title page, it showed that there was no previous liens. When they did the title search, it showed that there was a lien from 1995.
Where did that show up from?
I don't know, and they don't either. They just said that's what happens when their title examiner did the run.
Huh.
But because I had one from 2001, they said okay, because it didn't show it, they were okay with that. So my question was I doing their job for them?
Yes.
And I asked them, I said, I'm not sure why I'm doing your job. My client's paying for the title, the insurance, and isn't that what you're supposed to do is research all that? So why am I doing your job? I said, my friend recommended you, and boy, I told her what was going on, and she was very upset over these guys. Because she's friends with the people, she's friends with the girls at the title company. So since then, they've been a little more nice to me. Yeah. So things like that happen with the titles research. That's the first time I encountered that. But I got it done faster than they would have gotten it done. And my client was freaking out because she wants to close on November 5th. She's moving to out of state. She's already done. She's packing up. She goes, what if something happens and it doesn't close because it's the title flaw? I said, there's ways around it. We can get people to sign off, do a certain deed, things like that. But we just have to have a paper trail that shows it's been paid off. I said, so don't panic. That's nothing to panic about. I said, don't panic until I tell you to panic. When you see me panicking, that's when you know you need to panic. And they're like, okay. I know it's past break time, but pizza's supposed to be here at 11:30, so we're going to go until lunch is here. Is that good with you guys? Mm-hmm. And I know you can't hear me because my back is to you. Oops. Read my lips. So we talked about on page 9, communicating with our clients, how to communicate with them. Contact information on page 10. We've talked about that. We've talked about the information of broker services. And then on the back side of that, page 12, it kind of shows you the flow chart of how things happened, the progression of everything. It talks about you select your realtor, you give them IABS, you establish what they want, don't want, you get loan approval, you negotiate, write 2 checks. Okay, guys, who's ever listening? There's nowhere in here that says get the buyer's representation agreement signed, is there? Nope. So, in this scenario, do they have an agency relationship if you follow this?
No.
Very good. The answer is no. Oh, you can't see back there. No. If you follow this diagram, there's no agency relationship established because there's no one in here that says have them sign a buyer's representation agreement. So that needs to be added into that flow chart. And it talks about a guide to buying a house. You can get these in Keller Williams' website. That's part of our marketing. Where to find them in KW Command, I'm not sure. If you're not sure, go to the 9:30 class on Monday or take the class Genius Day is Thursday? What time?
11 to 2. Yes,
Okay. So on KW Command and website questions, be sure and be there Monday morning at 9:30, or be there at Genius Day Thursday from 11 to 2. For website marketing, where do we find that? Because I'm still learning our new information and I am embracing technology. It gets frustrating. But this is a buyer's guide. You can use it exactly like they have it, or you can tweak it and make it yourself. I do print this out, I tweak it, I put my information in here, I put referrals for my clients in my little packet, because they're not going to read it, but some of them will. But I want them to have this in their hands, or you can email it to them. If you don't like paper, and I'm a paper person still. And it's all about you, the client. You get what you get from me, what I do for you. If there's something on here, well, I'm not going to do that, you can delete that line. You can tweak this accordingly. As part of my service, what am I going to do? It tells you your value. 6 steps to buying a home. Choose a real estate agent. Yay, yes we do. Obtain financial approval. View homes and find the one home. Make your offer. Get inspections and negotiate repairs. And final review of contract and close. These are the steps to let your buyer know this is what's going to happen when we buy a home. Like I said, some people will not read it and some people will. On page 18, it talks about funding your home purchase. 3 factors determine how much you can afford. Talk to them about that. After lunch, I'm going to show you my buyer's presentation on PowerPoint that I did. It's just me personally that I use, especially for first-time home buyers or people if they haven't bought a house in a while, because it explains to them this is how lending works. This is what an option is. This is what earnest money is. Because they have no idea what any of these things are. It's all new terminology. Kind of like when you took real estate classes, it's like, what's an option? That's how they are buying a first-time home buyer, or they haven't bought a house. And I'll ask them, have you bought a house since 2015? No, I haven't. Well, the laws have changed a little bit because of CFPB. So how you do a mortgage is a little bit different than you did it before. And I always want them to know that. Before, they could change lenders up in the week before closing. Now you can't. You have to start all back over in a number of days. And people that don't know that the laws have changed, they haven't bought a house in a long time, they think they can still do that. If you're going to shop for rates, shop them before you buy a contract. Start shopping now and negotiate now for your rates with your loan officers. Do that before, that's one of the first steps now you do, because they don't understand how that works. You need to educate them. It talks about qualifying for a mortgage. Talk to them. This is what down payment is. This is what closing costs are. This is what financial pre-approval is. Underwriting, loan approval, title company, funding. And I tell them, do not get excited until it funds and you have the keys in your hand. I just want a client. We were at the closing table. She got the keys. She goes, can I get excited now? I said, now you can get excited. And the biggest smile on her face, because I told her, don't get excited yet. We're not finished yet. Don't get excited. We haven't closed and funded. Because you never know what's going to happen. Yes, Judy?
What's the best way when you talk about like more build up your team? Like you have a list of lenders that you might recommend, or inspectors, or whatever. What's the best way as a new agent to create that team?
Okay. A question was asked as a new agent, how do I create my team? How do I get my inspector list? How do I get my lenders list? How do I know which title companies I want to use? Which is a great. You can ask other agents, who do you like? Who do you use? They come and talk to us at our meetings, at our functions. They will come be our breakfast or lunch sponsors, and you get to know them that way. Say, can I get your information? Can I have an appointment with you? As new agents, have y'all started getting information from title companies yet? Classes and things like that? If not, you need, I think it's in the phone duty room. There is a business cards. Get some of their business cards of the title company reps and say, hey, I'm a new agent. I would love to sit down and have coffee with you. I need to know what I need to do. What do I don't know? How can you help me? Get on their email list. That way you get what classes they offer. You'll get market stats at the end of each month. They have a lot of value information. They'll say, hey, here's a class, Title 101. Take those classes, Title 101. You get detailed information on why a title commitment is so important. A title commitment is from the date of closing backwards from the sovereign of the soil, all the information about it, that it's a clear title. Because they're not going to issue title insurance unless they know it's a clear title.
I know it's not for a while, but at Mardi Gras, there's always vendors there. That
Yeah.
you can speak to.
Yeah. And just visit with them.
Be here before we know it.
Yeah, and ask other agents, who do you like to use?
That's what I've been doing. I've had the best luck with that.
Yeah, and I have people going, hey, who are your who are the three inspectors you like? I said, well, I have it typed up. I said, I'll send you what I send my clients. That way you can pick and choose. I said, call and interview them. See who you like, who you don't like. Ask other agents if, you know, who you get the most response from, use that one. Yeah. I said, to me, it's all about, can you close my file? Can you do a good job? Can you take care of issues when they arise? And if you need to get me involved, you get me involved. And let me trust you that you know what you're doing. Some do, some don't. Some are lazy, some are proactive. Some are moody, some are nice and friendly.
Some overpromise.
Yeah.
Deliver.
Yeah, some overpromise and they don't deliver. And we want to be the people that underpromise and overdeliver in our customer service. But anyway, that was a great question, so that kind of answers that. So you and mine got to see that one. Put the mic back down. Is this muted? No? It's still going. I couldn't remember.
All this time it's been muted.
Oh, wait, no, he would have told me.
I put it back there.
She sure does have a lot of faith in you.
So it's down payment, closing costs, financial approval. And I tell my buyers, I said, the hardest part about buying a house is going through underwriting.
Ugh.
I said, they are going to ask you for the date, same document 10 times. I said, don't get frustrated. Just have it uploaded and say, okay, here you go, again. You want this again? Okay, I'll send it to you again. I said, don't get frustrated because it's going to happen. They're going to dissect you financially. They're going to find things about you you forgot about. I said, so just live with it and just go with the flow and understand that's how this works. And just be patient and always send whatever they want. If you delay it because you sent it to them 5 times, you don't want to send it to them the 6th time, it's going to delay your closing. You might have sent it to one person and they have it in their file. Then another person's working on it and they want a copy of it too, but they don't share files, so they want their own copy. You never know why, but whenever the lender asks for something, you get it to them fast. Because any delay in doing that will delay closing.
If you have a good loan officer, that they can kind of prevent that from happening.
Yes.
That's the key.
Yes.
And I had, as a new agent, I remember this story. Some of you probably have heard this story. There was a client and an agent out of the Round Rock office. They were with the buyers. They're sitting at closing, getting ready to sign on their house. And there's a knock on the door. The title people come in. They say, we need to talk to your buyers. I'm like, okay. And the title company says, I'm sorry, you no longer qualify. And they're like, what do you mean we no longer qualify? They were sitting at the closing getting ready to sign the documents. She said, did somebody buy a boat yesterday? The wife looked at the husband and said, you bought a boat yesterday?
She didn't know.
No. And now their ratios were too high because they pulled their credit right before closing. And she said, you got your boat and I didn't get my house? She reached back and shoved him over. She stormed out of that room.
D-I-V-O-R-C-E.
And so we're wondering, is the guy living on the boat? What's going on? So I talked to the agent, the buyer's agent, and I told him, I said, I tell this story. I don't divulge names, who you are, but I tell him the story. He started laughing. He goes, I forgot all about that. I said, we want to know what happened to him. Did they get a divorce? He goes, I don't know. I never saw him again. And he goes, thank you. I needed a good laugh. I forgot about that story. So that's why at closing table, it could blow up in your face. That's why I tell my clients, my buyers, do not get excited until it closes in funds and don't buy anything. Once you do the loan application, do not charge anything on your credit cards. Don't buy any big purchases. Do not buy anything until it closes in funds. First home buyers, they want to go buy washers, dryers, furniture. No, not until it closed. Don't even go buy something thinking it's not going to be delivered for a while, because that will show up on your credit report. Yeah.
Inquiries too.
Yeah. I said, just don't do it. We have a loan person here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an underwriter here.
So am I correct so far?
Mhm.
And things I need to tell them to watch out for?
Yeah.
So don't buy anything. I had my very first buyer. She calls me up. She goes, it's my sister's birthday. Can I buy her a birthday gift? I said, how much? She goes, $50. I said, you put it on credit? She goes, no, I'm paying cash. I said, that's okay, but nothing else. She said, okay. Because I told her, do not buy anything other than groceries and your bills. Do not buy anything, personal property. But she wanted to ask if she could buy her sister a birthday gift. Yeah, $50, no more. She's still my client. And that was in 2001, actually it was 2002 when I met her. So just saying the process, what you need to do.
It shows up really fast.
It
I
does.
recently refinanced my house and filled out my loan application and everything, and I had to go buy a lawnmower. And
Yeah.
I went to Home Depot and opened an account because they were giving me $100 off the cost of the lawnmower.
Of course.
The very next day, my loan officer called me and says, "Did you go open the Home Depot account yesterday?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah.
I need a
Just
lawnmower.
gonna pay it off, but don't do that.
Don't do that. Mm-mm.
Don't be that person.
I have a client now, and 3 months ago he didn't have some things on his credit, and also now he looked and he has all these things. He goes, that's not really supposed to be on my credit. This is what happened on a student loan that's already taken off. It's already paid off, and it popped up that he wasn't making payments, so it had already been paid off. And I said, he goes, what should I do? I said, let the loan officer take care of it. I said, they can do it faster and easier than you can. This is what they do all day long. Just bring it to their attention that the last time you looked, it was not on there, and then work with the loan officer, because they will say, don't pay this off or pay this one off. They will guide you on what you need to do to get your ratios and your score up to where it needs to be. Was that correct answer? Now you have me paranoid.
Don't be. No. Don't
And they
be.
were freaking out. Oh, I can do it. No. Let the loan officer tell you what to do. And he said, okay, I can do that. So, because they know more about, that's their job. That's their specialty. And then, of course, it talks about closing. Prepare for it. Oh my God. Day of closing. Well, before closing, you need to find out, okay, how you can bring your checks. Money order or cashier's check. If a buyer brings a cashier's check, the title company wants it to clear their bank before they release the keys. Probably about 5-10 years ago, we were having money order cashier's check fraud. That happened before the wire transfer fraud. And so because of that, they will keep it, they will make sure it clears, then they will say, okay, it could be the next day, it could be 2 days. Whenever it clears their bank, that's when they release the liens. Most people would do a money transfer. You know you don't get involved with that. That's between the title company and your buyer. You don't process or say, here's this information, you don't pass it through, and you get them connected. You tell your buyer, there's a wire fraud transfer going on. You know your closing company team. If somebody says, send this check, you pick up your title company, and so you want me to wire transfer this amount to you now? You call and ask questions and make sure that is actually what you're supposed to do. Call me, I'll get the title company involved, call the title company, you're gonna know who your team is. Do not wire transfer any money until you know exactly who you're using it. They're very, very good. They hack your email and they see what's going on, and then their letterhead looks just like the company's letterhead. I was talking to this title company, she goes, somebody showed me a check yesterday, and they said, what do you think of this check? Is it a good check? And she goes, she looked at it, she sees checks, all that, she goes, yeah, it looks good. She goes, it's fraudulent. And she was like, whoa, that's good. She goes, it looked just like the title company's letterhead, their checks and everything. She goes, this is not a good check, and one small detail that showed them it was a fraudulent check.
Yes, we had that at the company I work for.
Yeah, so you gotta be very, very careful when you're dealing with people's money, wire transfers, and things like that. And of course, they have to bring their photo ID to show who they are for the notary to sign the book, and it's not theirs until it funds. It could fund the same day, or it could be the next day. I don't like Friday afternoon closings because usually they won't fund it until Monday. And the sellers will not lease the key to the buyer because the buyer doesn't own it until it funds. And so the seller is still responsible for that house until it funds. I tell my sellers, do not release those keys until it funds. And so I tell my buyers, if we close Friday afternoon, it probably won't fund until Monday. So if you want to make sure it funds on Friday, you need an early morning closing date. I said, just make it happen if that's what you want. And they said, okay. Because there's nothing nobody can do about it. Let's see. Frequently asked questions. How will you tell me about the newest homes available? Okay, so these are some good questions. Is lunch out there yet?
No, I'm gonna open the door so we can hear when they knock, because we didn't hear them the other day.
We have a doorbell.
Well, they came to the side door.
Okay, I don't have any text messages. So if you look at the next page, this is what you give them so they can have some answers, frequently asked questions. So how will you tell me about the newest homes available? So how would you tell a buyer? Don't read it. How would you tell, I'm a buyer, how would you tell me what homes pop up? How do I know about them?
Are you looking at your MLS?
Close.
Check it daily.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a buyer's agent and I have you set up on a drip campaign for the MLS, and as soon as something's listed, you will get notification if it meets your criteria that that is a new one. So you can have them set up on the MLS drip campaign.
It automatically emails them.
And it would automatically email them that information. I have clients sit up on that. Some clients check it every hour.
Wow.
Those are people that have nothing else to do. Yeah.
I really wanna buy a house.
Yeah. So you can do it like that so they know what pops up. I will send my buyers listings from the MLS. Sometimes they won't ever look at them. They want to do their own search. And they'll find something, like 2 weeks later, going, ooh, I like this house. I say, well, if you look, that's the first group of homes I actually sent you. And now it's pending. Back then it was actually active, but you weren't interested in it now. Oh man, I said, yeah. Because they said, why'd you send this to me? I said, I did. And I'll show them the email. I can go back in and say, it was in this group right here. Oh, that's when I was thinking I wanted an acre. That's only 1/3 of an acre. Well, I sent it to you anyway. Their criteria had changed. Yeah. The next question, will you inform me of homes from all real estate companies or only from Keller Williams? What will you do? How would you answer that?
Well, you keep them informed of every.
Yeah.
Because you're
And you did, when I give people the mobile app, because I always give my buyers, here's a mobile app. When you drive around, if you see a house, text me, give me the address. It's on their mobile app. They said, well, is this just Keller Williams homes on this mobile app? I said, no, it's listed with they have contracts with everybody in the United States, MLSs, including Canada, on this mobile app. So anywhere in the United States and Canada, you'll be able to find homes in the MLS. It's not Keller Williams, it's all homes that are listed in the MLS. Oh, wow. And yes, I do show other homes. I don't just limit it to Keller Williams. I show all homes that's listed in the MLS. Because some people think we
But
don't.
you don't tell them about that app until you have a buyer's contract.
I'll give them the app.
You will.
Yeah.
Isn't your information on that app?
Yeah,
So
we're branded
if
with your
they're searching,
information.
They see you.
They're driving down the street and they see a house and they're using the app, houses around me. It's actually really, the people use it the most are the people that are relocating from out of the area and they're just driving around and they don't really know their neighborhood. They can pull on the app going, I like this neighborhood. Houses near me, and they can see what other houses are for sale in the area.
How do you get that app and program to all of your information?
So
Wait, okay, hang on, this is an important question. The question was asked, how do we get the mobile app that's branded with my information? Brian, would you like to answer that?
well, it's kind of difficult to answer because for a while I had the app and it wasn't branded to my name or anything at all. And mainly what you do is just go search for your name in the agent search, and then you can click it to market, like to make it your agent.
So you can do it yourself.
You can do it yourself, and then it'll have a code, like an app code,
Mm-hmm.
that they could just input when you send them the link.
And what's the app called?
Just Keller Williams.
Oh, it is the
Realty.
Keller Williams.
Yeah, you can also go on my KW, my take mykw, you can go under that, under technology, and that's where I found mine, where it says mobile app. And I found it there, and I found it another way, because we putting our mobile apps into our new websites, and I had to relearn all of that, and I found it that way as well, because it's a code that's specific to you, and that brands you. It's the code to brand you.
Right. Okay.
And now everybody, it's all now directed to KW Command. No, I'm sorry, KW Connect. Everything's on kwconnect.com, because if you hit it on my KW, it would redirect you to KW Connect.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can find it that way as well. But you all get a mobile app that is branded with your picture on it. Have y'all seen it?
I think I have.
I haven't.
Okay, I'm gonna put this down.
And they finally got the website to create your own website up and running, right? Or people are still having trouble with that.
She asked a question, woohoo, about are our new websites up and running? Yes, you can go through the process and set up your own website. I have questions on my website, and so that's why I'm coming to the 9:30 class on Monday morning to ask questions on the website.
It's not the pizza, but he's asking about someone. He said he's here to pick up documents from someone, and I don't know if we have.
Okay, we are going to take a break. It's lunchtime. It's 11:30, so we're going to take a break now because we have other things we need to deal with a client or somebody that came into our office, and it's not pizza. Bye. I'd like to welcome everybody back from lunch. The game doesn't start until 2:30 is what I've been told.
The more important game's already playing.
Now, who's the more important game?
A&M.
Ah. Well, when does TCU play? I don't even know who they play. I quit.
I think they're playing UT.
Oh, this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, poor people. Are you serious? Hey, you know, this could be the one game this year that TCU wins. It's happened before with UT. Then TCU had a losing.
Their game last week, UT, that was, wow.
I just will look at the scores, the sports updates.
So we didn't have a sponsor come in and talk to us?
No, there was no sponsor, and so Kristen ordered the lunch to be delivered to us for lunch.
Gotcha. Okay.
I can be the sponsor. I can get to talk more. Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to be on page 23. About me. This is when you put information in. You have to insert your information. And this is good stuff to go ahead and write up, because not only, 23? Not only can you use it in your buyer's guide, you can also use this in other of your marketing. You can get this information, put it on your website, put your website information in here, and vice versa. Your expertise. What geographical area are you using? Do you have special marketing segments you want to go to? Technology. Insert the ways you give your clients an edge through technology. And you can do that through KW Technology. You can use what they write on the technology because that's all part of us. How do you like to be communicated? Clients for life, awards and recognition. And this doesn't have to be, you're like, I'm a new agent. I don't have awards and recognitions. If you have awards and recognitions and something else you did, put it down there. I got PTA Mom of the Year. Put it in there. I'm serious. That is award and recognitions. That's something to celebrate about yourself. It doesn't have to be about real estate. It has to be about something you have accomplished that you're proud of. Now, if you're not proud of something you accomplished, don't put it in there. I don't know an example of that one. But in the lending industry, anything you think of, this is what I enjoy. This is about me. Any of you, this is not easy to do, have any of y'all have your elevator speech?
That would be a no, I guess.
Okay. Do any of you have your bio done?
Yeah,
I have bits and pieces of both of those.
yeah.
There are classes that do that help you do all that. Title companies put it on. I'm not going to say certain title companies and certain people because I'm not advertising them because I'm neutral here. But anyway, there's a girl I sat down with and I said, I need an elevator. She goes, how can you help me? I said, I need a bio on myself that's fun and not boring, and I need an elevator speech. I said, can we meet and do all that stuff? She goes, yeah. And she goes, I helped people do that before. So we met the first time, we went through a bunch of stuff, she gave me some information, questions to ask myself. Then we met a week later, and I said, this is what I came up with. And I really like it. I said, yeah, I can live with that. I'm happy with what I wrote. And so that's what whenever I need a bio or anything short about myself, I go and cut and paste it in different places so I have it already written. It's not easy. Well, I found it's not easy to write about myself. I don't write about myself. It's hard to write about yourself. And I thought, and so the question says, what do you want to convey to your clients? What person do you want to be to that client? And just start writing down words and descriptions. And then take those words and descriptions and turn those into sentences. Because you look at somebody in an elevator, I mean, we don't have very many elevators now, but you meet somebody and they say, what do you do? I'm a real estate agent. Boring. What do? I help people fulfill their dreams. How do you help people fulfill your dreams? Well, I work with them to find and sell their homes. I found their dream home for them. I see what we can do to get them in a home that they absolutely love. So you're a real estate agent? Yes, I do. I help people find dreams, or their dream home, or whatever. And that's more better than saying, I'm a real estate agent, I work with buyers and sellers, and make it something where they will know, you catch their attention. What do you want to know? What is this about yourself you want to say about? Mine is, I'm listening. I listen to my buyers and sellers. I hear what they want to say. I hear what they're looking for, and what they hear and what they say is more important to my opinion because I need to listen to what they want. It's about my clients, what they want, and not what I want, or something like that. It's not exactly like that, but that's kind of what I wrote. And it sounds a lot better than what I've written down. And on my bio, I just kind of I gave it a little bit of background, make it a little personal. This is where I was born and raised. I got a degree. This is what I got a degree in from this. I have 2 kids. I have 2 dogs. I love this thing. I moved to this area in 1920 or whatever it was, and I absolutely love what I was thinking 1920.
1920.
I was thinking 1997, but this is the year 2000. And I absolutely love this area, and this is why I love living in Georgetown or wherever you live. But put it a little bit personal. Don't make it all business, because you want to connect with these people. You want them to relate with you. You want to know, how do you want me to communicate to you? What is it that I can do to help you? Why are you in this business? Remember, I asked you, why did you choose real estate? Why are you in this business? And it's not easy. I thought about it, then I'd stop. Then I thought about it and write some. Then I'd go and re-edit it. And then I'd sleep on it. Then I'd come and redo it. It's not easy to do, but once you get it done, it's done. You know, because I hadn't looked at mine in, 10 years. It's the same old thing, cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste. Oh, and I would put, and that's what I got. I've been a real estate agent in 2001. And she goes, people don't count up how many years that is. You need to put years, 18.6 years. And I thought, that means I have to go in and update it every year and add more years to it. And she goes, yes, but then you'll look at it again and update it what you need to update it. So it's very important that you write a bio on yourself, which is not easy, because we don't like talking about ourselves, and do a little short elevator speech. And that will help you in this business. Someone told me that as a new agent. I'm like, and it's not easy. And Google it on how to do that. After this class is over and I'm not being streamed live, I will tell you what helped me with mine. So you can get their name and number, and she can send you information. And also they offer classes as well on how to do that. It's that time of the year where everybody's doing their business plans and doing things like that. It's also what I do is I take my business plan and I make a dream board on my business plan every year. What's in my business plan, I put on my board. I'm a visual person. I see money signs. I see how many houses I want to sell. I'll go take so many houses up there, how many houses I want to close. I'll take what I want to achieve. I'll take what I want to look like. I'll take what travels I want to do. So I take all that as part of my business plan. My business plan is not only business, it's personal. What I want to achieve personally, what I want to do financially, what I want to do recreation-wise. I take all those aspects and put it into a business plan, then I transfer that over into my dream board. I leave my business plan hanging out. I want to close so much money this year, and this is how many buyers I want to close. You got to have these things written down. How many buyers do you want to work with a month? If you don't have that written down, good luck. It's funny about, I'm getting on my horse about the planning. When I was a new agent, I thought, that's so ridiculous. I have everything in my head. I know what it is. I have it in my head. I don't have to worry about that. And somebody goes, you write it down. I'm like, I don't have to. It's all in my head. I have a great memory. That was me. And then I said, okay, this is just write one thing down. I went, okay, I did, and it worked. I was like, whoa, that worked. Give me that piece of paper. I'm writing everything down now. And I had a guide on how to do it. And not only is it about closings, it's about personal, what I want to achieve personal as well as business, what I want to achieve with my family, my friends. And then I put down, then I write a paragraph about this. I write a paragraph, like I said, about I tell my sellers, imagine them getting the keys and opening their house when they just got it funded and they're so excited. It's like that. I imagine this is the end of the year. These are the things I accomplished, and this is how I feel about it. And the things I want to accomplish and achieve, I put in there. You know, wow, I did this. I met my quota. I did everything I did. Not only did I meet my quota, I did more than what I wanted to do, and it feels so good. I talk about it like it has already been achieved. And then I print it out and I put it right in front of me in my office. So that way every day I look up at it and I go, oh yeah, I know what that says. I have my dream board in my office, oh yeah. And what's so fun is when I achieve the things on my dream board, I'll go, check, check, check. Then I just take them off, take them on the back side, what I've achieved, and then I put the new things up for the new year. And it's going to change. What you say, what if it changes? Well, yeah, that's okay if it changes, but at least you have something written down. You writing it down on paper, you're giving out to the world, this is what I want to do. Remember when I say crazy business, I now say delete, erase, erase, because I was attracting crazy people. And it's kind of like writing it down on paper tells the world, this is what I want to achieve. These are my goals. It doesn't. Your goals are going to be different than my goals. There's no right or wrong about your goals. It's just have them written down and have some type of goal. It could be one big, awesome goal, which is good. You need to have big goals, but also how are you going to get to that big goal? You have to have steps. I used to see one big goal and it would scare me to death. That's too big for me. It's not. I mean, I can't do that. Then they said break it down. We have a class for that, by the way. This is what I need to do today to work toward what I want to achieve. And you break it down in smaller goals. Well, I can do those small things. And the smaller goals, the smaller steps lead up to what I want. And before you know it, you've reached that big goal. Then you're like, yes, it happened. Too much. It has to do with buyers. This does have to do with buyers class. It does. It's like, they shouldn't film me live, okay? Now you know why. And if they don't like, they won't film me live next time. Is anybody out there? Hello? Anybody watching?
I put the iPad back there so I can't check it as easy.
Ah, he can't check it up anymore. If you're out there,
I'll
hello?
look it up right now.
So you need to get an elevator speech. You need to get a buyer on yourself. Start writing it now and start implementing it, because to me that was very, very hard and difficult for me to do. Because I don't talk about myself. Somebody goes, what do you do? If I don't have an elevator speech, I'm like, I'm a real estate agent. I work with buyers and sellers. Everybody else in this area does too. What makes you different? So if somebody asks what makes you different from any other agent, do you have an answer for that one?
Yes,
Very good. What's your answer? What makes you different?
my charming personality.
Ah. Her difference is her charming personality. But you have something. It's better than look at them like thinking, I don't know, in your head. I don't know. If you have it written down, you know how to answer that question. It doesn't matter what you say as long as you have an answer. Yeah. Because I've had people ask me, and I said, you've been coached before, haven't you? So what makes you different than anybody else in this area? Why should I use you? Because there's a lot of choices out here. Have your elevator speech. They don't want a big one paragraph on why. Just short and sweet. I listen to what my clients have to say. It's about you and what you're buying, not about what I think you should buy. It's all about you. Let me take your hand and guide you through the steps of buying your real estate, your property, your investments. Something, I don't know. I have it written down. And there's reasons why, because I don't remember. Okay, that happens sometimes.
You still got one viewer.
I still have one viewer. I don't think anybody's watching. I think somebody just clocked it in. Did you do that, Brian? Are you my one viewer?
I mean, I just pulled it up on my YouTube, so maybe.
Okay, now you look at page on 25. It looks like this tells you about Keller Williams, reliability, track record, knowledge, technology, teamwork. Use Keller Williams as new agents. Use their terminology. Use their information. You're here because you have a fantastic company that you're working for that offers all this. Real estate companies can't say they offer everything Keller Williams has to offer, so use that knowledge in presenting yourself to your clients. Because at Keller Williams, you're right here, Keller Williams is behind all their agents. And other real estate companies, it's all about the real estate company, then it's the agent. Not with us. You have us, and then you have Keller Williams. Yes, Brian.
Can I add something to that?
Hang on, Brian's going to add something to this.
Well, I was just gonna say, use what this market center offers, and like myself, I do the Matterport photos for the homes, and if y'all don't use that, then it's there for no reason. But it's really cheap compared to what other people offer it for.
What's it
And
called?
the
Matterport.
Matterport, the virtual tours.
It's it's cool.
I just figured I'd throw that in there.
No, I appreciate that. We do have that benefit, Matterport, and also we have our video room, which is really cool. I need lessons on how to do that video room. I took a class where I have to embrace videos now.
What do you need,
I
like,
ha-
how to use the camera, or like
No, the whole process. Yes. Do I use my phone? Do I use a camera?
there's a camera set up in there.
How do I do the space behind me? Because I have a series of things I want to start and I want to do, but I first need to figure out what I need to do that. What's this?
Scott knows a lot about physics.
Am I off camera now? Over here?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Well, it's between those two chairs, but they moved the chairs. Oh, I'm not gonna sneeze. Matterport is, Okay, Matterport is an option that we have. It's very, very, very affordable compared if you went out and ordered it. I went out and ordered it before we had that.
What is that? Is that on Connect or is it on My Keller Williams?
No, it's on
Technology.
Connect KW. Isn't that right? How do we order it?
There's like a Google sheet that's got created. No one uses it anymore.
Oh,
They
also,
just come directly to me.
well, also, yeah, you can go to Connect KW. It's like our Georgetown little things that they have for us. You can order it through there.
It wouldn't be under technology? Why would
No,
that be?
because
part
it's
of-
not a Keller Williams thing. It's
Oh.
it's a Georgetown thing.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of things our office does that's not Keller Williams wide. It's just for our area. And I spent like $385 for Matterport. It was a 5,000 square foot house. They did the still pictures, they did a Matterport, they did it all, because my client saw it on another listing. She goes, I want that done to my house. I said, okay. I researched it, I found out who did it. 6 months later, we've got the technology here. So instead of $375 like I spend, that's gonna cost me maybe $100 for a house that size or less. Yeah, so it's a very, very good benefit that we have, and Brian is the one that actually will do that for us. Anybody that has a large listing, I'm about to sneeze again.
I've found that people do, like outside people will do
Excuse me.
like basic homes, like 25 to 3,000
Yeah.
square feet for like anywhere between $250 to $300.
Yeah,
And ours starts out for 2,500 square feet and under, it's $60. 2,500 to 3,500 is 70. 35 to 45 is 80, and 45 and up is $100. But the only other charge that you would ever get is if it was really far away, and that would just be like $20 for a trip charge. But
But
there's
there-
only a couple people who make me go really far, and that's Brian Horsborn.
he is the one that had the listing that had it before we bought it. And I went on one of his listings, and that's how I found it. But it's really, really cool. And we have a lot of things that our market center has that's just mainly for our market center, and which makes a lot of difference.
How do we find out what all those are?
I should honestly just have Scott throw it in there, like with the team meeting stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the new agents don't know about a lot of stuff.
No.
Like, people don't even know we have an ice maker.
I didn't know, I just discovered that the last time I taught.
I only saw it because I saw him get into it.
Yeah, I heard it. I was like, oh, you have ice. Oh,
There's
okay.
ice behind that door.
I had no idea. I'm like, how do I turn the lights off if I'm the last one leaving?
Yeah.
I ran into that one before, going around turning all the lights.
Don't they turn off automatically?
Not all of them
The
do.
kitchen one.
The
does.
kitchen does.
Oh.
And I was looking for the kitchen switch. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to leave this light on. But I finally asked somebody, they said it goes off automatic. So, use Keller Williams technology, their expertise, and that's what it's all about. Use the agents in our office. We're underneath the same broker. We all work for the broker. Everything's in the broker's name. All money gets paid for the broker. So you can use this going, my team, because we're all on the same team, Keller Williams Georgetown. And as a new agent, that's very powerful for you. If you don't have stats or anything like that, you can use the market center stuff because you are part of the team.
Or even trying to reinforce to someone that you are qualified for the job, because we don't have the experience to justify. It's like I have years and years of
Amazing
experience
team.
behind me.
Well, no,
That helps.
nobody's ever asked me how long I've been in the business. When I was a new agent, they did. My first listing, how long have you been in the business? A while. I didn't know what to answer, and they said, no, okay.
You know what Kristen said? She
What?
told me this is what she said when she got her first listing. The people asked her how long she'd been in the business. She said, long enough to know what I'm doing.
Repeat that. Somebody told you, a brand new agent says when their clients ask, how long have you been in the business? Their answer was,
Long enough to know what I'm doing.
long enough to know what I'm doing. Isn't that a great thing to say? You don't lie to them. I mean, you have to tell them the truth, but you guys have a lot of training. You have no clue how much training we get here versus other companies. I can say that because I'm teaching a Keller Williams class. When I'm teaching other classes at the board, I can't really talk about how great we are. I have to be neutral. And I have other people from other agencies come to my classes, and they're clueless on 1-to-4 family contracts. They're clueless clueless on all the things that we automatically get in our risk management classes. And they have no idea. And I'm like going, whoa, they don't know that? And I'm like, okay, we're very fortunate because who we have as our resources and all the training that we do get in this office. You just have to come to the training. You have to attend, you have to be involved. If you don't come to the training, you're not going to be that great of an agent. They did a statistics in Round Rock. It's when we were still part of the Round Rock Business Center, we're underneath their umbrella. And we all had to sign in when we came to training and to team meetings. It wasn't to track us, it was to see the GCI of people who attended meetings and training versus the people who never showed up for anything. And the people that attended and showed up for meetings had a higher GCI, which is gross commission income, than the ones that never did anything. And they just wanted to test it, and it did work. So the more involved you are, especially as new agents, the more questions you ask, the more that you are going to learn and have a higher GCI. That's the way I look at it. But you can do anything. We're all independent contractors. You do whatever you want. And then on page 26, the buyer's guide, what's ahead, looking for a new home. You know, to assist in the home search journey. You know, you can show photos of the home address. I had one person that bought the house they liked because they loved the name of the street. And said, "Ooh, I like the name of the street. I can live with that. I wouldn't want to live in that house because I don't like the name of that street." I'm serious. One buyer bought the house because they liked the flagpole on the outside. That's how they decided that was the house for them. You never know.
Well, it might have been the deciding factor if there were, if all things, you know, if you're comparing apples to apples.
She told me the husband liked the house. It fit well for the family. She said that because there were several ones that were very similar to each other, and that was her deciding factor because of the flagpole. When we got there, they had taken the flagpole off, even though it was attached. So I went and bought a flagpole. It's easier for me to just buy a flagpole and replace it than it was for me to ask them to come back and put the flagpole up.
Yeah.
It was actually not a flagpole. It was one of those brackets attached to the garage.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cheaper.
And but that's why she bought the house, because I love the flag. I love having that there. And I'm like, I can take care of that. Never buy a refrigerator, but buy a flag. I mean, you never know why your clients buy what they want. And then next they have several forms. If you look on page, I don't know what page it is, 26? Well, hang on, let me put my glasses on.
Well, if you're
28?
Wire fraud, it's 28.
28, wire fraud warning. This is the information, one of the forms that is required by your office that you have to have all your buyers and sellers sign. And if you notice, it needs your signature too right here. So not only do you have to sign it, your buyers and sellers have to sign it to disclose that they are aware of the wire fraud. You have the buyer's rip agreement next. We've already gone through the buyer's rip agreement. So you can flip through that. If you look on page 34, this is the other thing that's required now. General information and notice to buyers and sellers. I talked to you about that earlier. This is required for all your buyers. I keep clicking things on here. I keep clicking stuff on here, so I'm not sure.
You're fine.
Okay, I unmuted it. secrets. And so that's how I do it.
Okay.
I said my office always likes to do a lot of disclosures, and these are two now added disclosures that they have added that we need to have everybody sign, because that's what I tell my clients.
Okay.
Okay, no problem, and they went back and signed them.
Okay.
Now I just tell them, I'm going to send you a lot of disclosures. I'm going to send you, and I tell them I'm going to send them. I said the one that is not a disclosure is the buyer agency agreement, which tells me you sign that you want to hire me as your buyer's agent. You want me to represent you. I want you to represent me. Okay, we need to take that. We need to get that taken care of and get that signed. The other thing is, I think of all these things. They need to sign the the IABS first. Guys, that's the first substantive discussion. If you wait until they write a contract and they all has the same dates and everything else in the court of law, they're going to say, wait, they signed the offer before they signed the ABS, so when did you actually give them the ABS to sign? Because email signatures is time dated in not only the date but the time they sign stuff. So that's something else to think about. The first thing I need you to sign to send you is the IABS.
What if?
Not that we're ever going to be in a court of law, because no one plans on doing that. But with our great risk management and our great broker and team leader that we have, they educate us enough to where we don't get in trouble. We know what we're supposed to do. That was a plug.
What if they've signed the buyer's rep and you sent them the IABS, but they forget to sign that one?
It
Keep
was-
reminding them.
It will show in there that you sent it to them.
Okay.
In our dot loop system and probably in the new Adam, the other one we're getting into, it will show the history of what
Okay.
documents
So
you
at
have.
least it shows that I sent it.
Yes,
And I was like, hey, don't forget.
yes,
Don't forget.
yes. I still have clients that want to do it. They don't want e-sign. They want me to bring it to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of my customer service. Yeah. I had one client, she lived in Taylor. She goes, I run hand sign. I said, I'll come hand sign. Then I had one form. I said, I have one form I need you to sign. Is it okay if I send you e-signature? This is what it's it. She goes, yeah, I'll do that. I said, okay. But I asked her first, or I was going to go to Taylor and get her to sign one little small thing and bring it back. But she goes, no, I'll do that. I said, thank you very much. So she was a school teacher. So this is the form I was telling you about, general information notice to buyers and sellers. That is going to be one of those required disclosures that our office in Ray 5 Tech requires. And you can see, it just tells them what all these words mean. I've never had anybody actually read it, I don't think, but
It
it's
looks
there
like it kind of just reiterates the stuff that's in their
in the contract.
contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they're not just reading it once, they're reading it, well, hopefully they're reading it.
I feel like this is more simplistic.
Yeah. Because they're not having to sign after they read it, they just read the whole thing and then sign.
Yeah. The next one, information about property insurance for a buyer and seller. So you always want to ask for a clue report. That is that little report up in the sky that the house, all the insurance claims they've ever claimed for that house, no matter who the owner is, it's going to be on that clue report. Also, what I tell my buyers is during option, call your insurance company and see how much it's going to cost you to insure this house. Because that's going to be part of your PITI. And I want them to have a sticker shock. So that's all part of option. Because if it's, wow, I have to pay how much because part of it's in a floodplain? I don't want to pay that much. It's more, I don't want to do that. It's still under option where they can still get out.
Can you pull a clue report on a duplex or a multiple family?
Insurance companies you have to call your insurance company and they will do that.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of good that you give them this general information form up front, because then when you're sitting down to do the contract, there's all these things don't come up and they're like, whoa.
There is an agent in our office, her very, 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 very first contract she ever wrote.
Is that what she just said? What I just said?
No. I don't know if it was a buyer or seller. I don't
I didn't know
remember.
if I was just regurgitating what you said, or
No.
because I wasn't listening. To tell you the truth, I wasn't listening.
Well, thank you for sharing that. But her very first contract she wrote with her client, he wanted her to explain every paragraph on that contract. Even the disclosures, even things that didn't have the blanks filled in, everything on that contract. Brand new agent, just got her license. She sat down and explained every paragraph. From that, she got 5 transactions. He had to buy, sell, he had an aunt, he had a cousin. He referred everybody he knew that they had to use her because she took the time and explained it to him. Yeah. Pretty powerful to know what the contract says, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Brand new. So, the next one on 39, information about the insurance. I always have during option, call your insurance company, find an insurance company, do it during your option period. The other one on page 41, inspector information. This is the other required that is required per Mary FITEC. Inspector information. I choose not to have an inspection, and they sign it. If you send it through .loop, you're going to have to say that they have the authority to change what's on here and to sign it, so they can check which mark they want and sign it.
Question, since we have to upload all this stuff and we've got the electronic copies, I know we have to keep records for so many years, but do we have to keep the paper records, or
That's up to you.
Okay, so there's no requirement, Keller Williams doesn't have a requirement that says you also have to keep the copy of the paper records?
No. Some people aren't paper people. I do keep some paper copies because I don't trust backups and stuff. But I also, whatever I have in .loop, when that file closes, I will put it on my file on my computer and keep everything on my file as backup. Because .loop is going away. And what I did when I found out .loop was going away, I went in there and all my transactions I ever had using .loop, I went in there and made sure I had files and backup on my hard drive of everything that was in there. Yes, Keller Williams is backing it up. Our office is going to do all that. However, my thinking is if I need that document, I need it fast. I don't have time for somebody to go look it up and find it for me.
For everybody else's documents.
Yeah, so I have everything, all my files is on my hard drive backed up, and I have a backup of the backup twice. I know that's weird, but I only had one backup of the backup, and somebody goes, you need two backups of the backups. So I have it on an external hard drive. I have it on a flash drive, as well as I have it on, is it Carbonite? I back everything up on Carbonite as well. Because the last thing you want to do is lose what is in yours. Now we have our new technology platform. We have CRMs, which are in the cloud. Before we had those, our databases was on our computers, and my computer crashed, and I didn't have it backed up, and I lost all my contacts. So I had to go back through and I had all the files, and I took a lot of notes, so I had to go back and recreate my database. That taught me, have a backup of a backup. Make sure you have a backup so you can get to that stuff. But always back up your files in .loop, have it downloaded on your computer, everything you have on .loop, and that's what I've been doing.
What do you find is the safest way to keep your flash drives? Do you have like a system a file that you keep those in? Or?
You have to ask a technology person what's the best way to organize flash drives. Because I'm not the best one to organize flash drives.
Because I have a lot of flash drives.
I have a lot of flash drives. I go, oh, no, that's Mom and Dad's anniversary pictures. Oh, no, that's Dad's picture of his house. Oh, no, I don't need that one. I can delete that stuff. So I'm not a good person to ask. Now, what I'm doing is my backup on the flash drive, I have it in the same case that I have my external backup drive. So I have that, so I know that flash drive is a backup flash drive. That's how I do that one. Yeah, I have a whole little stack of those things. So you need to have them inspector information. Do they want inspection? Do they don't? I always recommend an inspector. You need to have it inspected. Let's see. This is just stuff that she put in there. Do you like that one? To me, this looks like an estimated net sheet. Title companies have estimated net sheets that you can. She uses First American Title. There's another one that I like to use that the numbers are pretty accurate. Being a past accountant, I do recheck the numbers to make sure the spreadsheet does add up to what I think. But it's a lot easier and prettier on their net sheet than it is for me to write it up. So I always give my clients a net sheet. If I have a listing, I'll give them a net sheet. This is an estimate of what you get at closing. If I have a buyer, well, I don't really do net sheets for buyers because there's a lot of closing costs to a buyer that only the lender knows.
But don't they get this from the lending company?
That is called an estimate of, that is, yes, they get that from the lender.
The disclosure,
It is, what's that called? The loan estimate.
Loan estimate.
loan estimate, but it's kind of so you have to do something separate for a buyer?
I don't for buyers, like I said, I don't for buyers necessarily, because to me, each lender has their different closing costs. Each lender has certain amount of, my mind's gone blank. Certain numbers of the property taxes they need to put in escrow. Each lender is different. So I tell my buyers, you need to get an estimate of closing costs from the buyer, from your lender. Find out how much it's going to cost you at lending. Find out what's the best program for you. Different lenders offer different programs. So find out if they have a program that will work for what you want. Disclose everything to your lender, even if you're embarrassed to talk about your loan and your credit. Tell them. It's easier for them to know up front what it's like instead of finding out as a prize right before closing. This time they have time to say, oh, we need to fix that, we need to fix this. The other thing is that you don't know their interest rate. You know, it might be a higher interest rate, they might buy down points. So on the buyer side, I always say you get your closing costs from your lender. I also say be sure and ask them what your payment's going to be. Right. If it's a brand new home, I said tell the lender you want it based on improved property. A lot of the builders will give you a payment, but it's based on raw land. And then they have a huge bill at the end of the year on actually with the house. So I always say based on improved property. So they know what the max their payment's going to be. But on a seller, I do the seller's net sheet all the time. By a buyer's net sheet, I always let the lender do that because there's a lot of different information that we don't have access to. Yeah. Because each closing company has different fees. This is a lender letter, invoice mortgage. And one thing I want to say about lender letters, since CFPB, a lot of them look the same, and you need to read. It will say, the following documents have been looked at, and they will list the documents. You know, I call it the 222s. They've looked at their credit report. They've looked at their check stubs. They looked at their tax statements. They have or they have not. If it says they have looked at the following, that means it's pre-approval. If it says they have not looked at it, these are all the things they haven't even looked at, so how do I know this guy's pre-approved if they haven't even looked at all these documents yet? It takes a little longer for pre-approval. With CFPB, a lot of them say, well, I can't get a pre-approval because we have to have a house. I don't know how they do it, but some lenders will give you pre-approval. I don't know how they do.
You don't have to have a house.
Someone said you had to have an address. Somebody told me that.
Well, you have to have it. Well, no, you don't. You don't have to have an address.
Yeah, and I
That's the
told
way around it.
them I said, well, I don't know who your lender is, but all the other lenders will give me a pre-approval without an address. I said, I need a pre-approval letter.
You can mute that and
And that's kind of what I told them.
yeah, you can mute that and I'll tell you.
Okay, we're going to take a small break. Goodbye.